I hear. Multiple sources confirm that the Barbie star and husband Tom Ackerley are expecting their first baby. Robbie and Ackerley are also 34 years old, met in 2013 on the set of the World War II drama Suite Française, where he was an assistant director and she was in front of the camera. They married in December 2016 during a private ceremony in Australia's Byron Bay. The two never announced their engagement prior to their wedding. And I really don't have any other details because this is sources saying they have not confirmed that as of yet. But People Magazine and a lot of other outlets are saying that she is indeed expecting.
My guess is no matter what happens, I'm going to get a lot of Barbie toys.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I would think so. So we'll see if there's a follow-up to that and if they make an official statement on that down the road. A couple of things happened while we were out for the extra day and over the holiday, so I'll mention those. Marlon Wayans is speaking out about his recent home burglary. In an Instagram video, he opened up about the home invasion, writing in the caption, to, quote, pick a better target. He said, the most valuable thing in my house is my house. So unless you're going to put that crap on a truck and drag it away, then yeah, man, you did well, but I don't own squat. I'm paraphrasing. I don't own S, he said.
Where's the house? Where was he living?
It's in Los Angeles. Okay. So according to LAPD, Wayans wasn't there during the incident, but his older brother, Keenan Ivory Wayans, was at home during the invasion. Suspects entered the house after sneaking into the Wayans' backyard and shattering a window. In his Instagram post, Wayans told the thieves to, quote, save your energy when coming to this home. He told fans they didn't really get much and added that the perpetrator should go down the block. He wrote in the caption, sorry, I live a simple life with 2 cats and one of them is a 1994 Range Rover. You'll need to jumpstart if you steal it because the battery is dead. And he said, I don't have a bunch of cash or jewelry. I guess he lives kind of a minimalistic life.
Yeah, because I was wondering about this. There are a lot of estates out there that are so huge that you can be at home and have no knowledge of what's happening on the other side of the house.
Yeah.
And so thieves are taking advantage of this.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case with him.
Yeah,
I
it
think
sounds like like you said, a smaller place.
Yeah, and like you said, go down the block. I don't live in the...
Right.
I guess he's content with a more minimalistic lifestyle, which is kind of cool because he's very successful and he'd just rather, he's happy with fewer things. But he said he advised robbers, don't waste your energy or life doing home invasion. So no word on the perpetrators or anything as of yet. We'll see if they get some info.
When a home invasion takes place and people are home, that can be really very dangerous.
Absolutely, yeah. Here's another story and a follow-up to it that happened while we were gone. Danny Trejo broke his silence after he was involved in a fight at an Independence Day parade, saying the incident was so sad, he believes it could be racially motivated. He said, honestly, I'm so sad. I'm so sad that I behaved that way, the way I behaved. And he said, I'm also sad that grown men got to throw water balloons to enjoy a day. That's what happened. The fight started after a spectator hit Trejo's vintage convertible with a water balloon. He was riding in it and somebody threw it at him. Trejo, who is 80 years old, by the way, told the outlet that he only exited his car because an unnamed person yelled that the balloon was full of acid. He said, I don't think I would have even gotten out of the car if somebody hadn't yelled, hey, that's acid, and that's when I panicked. He said he was hit by another water balloon and confronted the parade goer who threw it. The Machete actor said that the man grabbed his shirt leading to the fight. He said, I got out of the car and then boom, a balloon hit me. And I looked up to see a guy holding a water balloon and I go, what in the hell is wrong with you? He added that he believes that the confrontation was racially motivated and that the spectators in question targeted Trejo's car because he's Mexican-American. He said, I'm just sad there's still people from the 50s and 60s who still feel the same way. No one else was targeted. That story seemed to be corroborated by a witness. This is Stanley Harate said, the parade is like a thing where you throw water balloons back and forth to each other. The reason why Danny was so infuriated was because usually people don't throw water balloons at fancy cars when they come by. Ultimately, Trejo is no worse for wear, though, which is certainly not a given when an 80-year-old gets in a fight.
80
he
years
got
old.
knocked to the ground and everything.
There's a picture of him getting up off the pavement.
Yeah, and they watch the video. He bounces right back up. And at 80, that's sometimes you can get hurt real bad falling down.
So I read the biography and I watched the documentary about Danny Trejo. Like, Danny Trejo in prison was feared for his fighting skills in prison.
And he said, I'm all right. They couldn't hurt me. I'd be embarrassed if I attacked an 80-year-old man, and he's still talking and laughing, he said. So
It's got to be weird to move from machete to water balloon fight.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So after more than 2 decades, the man you can't see is officially leaving the ring where you first saw him. John Cena shared at this past Saturday's WWE Money in the Bank that he will be retiring from in-ring competition next year. After making his unofficial debut in 2000, Cena won a record 16 world championships, forged a legacy as one of the most beloved wrestlers within the WWE landscape. While he's primarily worked as an actor over the last decade, his career as a wrestler has garnered him one of the most passionate fan bases in all of professional sports. So news of his retirement was pretty seismic for the WWE community. Fans had some incredibly emotional responses to that.
Well, he just popped up in The Bear. He has Peacemaker season 2 coming out. He's been in a ton of movies.
He's hosting Shark Week.
Shark Week. I mean,
he's busy,
got a lot
but
of stuff going on.
He's going to bail on the wrestling.
Yeah, well, you can't. Yeah, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
That's why we gave up our wrestling careers.
Yeah.
While it's always possible that he could make surprise WWE appearances in the future, which of course, he will.
Yeah.
Fans grappled with the reality that one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time was prepared to ride off into the sunset.
I never forget when Ian McKellen had to give up his wrestling career.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. And then, he fell off the stage and...
I'm going to get a little emotional now. No more on the turnbuckle for this match. I bid you all adieu, and it's off to Middle-earth.
Yeah, it's too bad when he had to hang it up.
Oh, so good. And what was his move that was the...
Was it the Merlin?
The Merlin. The Merlin.
Yeah.
I thought it was the "You shall not pass."
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick, you're right.
You'd yell it every time.
You shall not pass, pussy.
Oh, my God. In the movie, in Lord of the Rings, if he would have added
Who
that...
shall not pass?
If he would added that one word, would have really
I'll deal with this pussy.
punctuated that. All right, Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck. Some people think that J-Lo is sending a not-so-subtle message to Ben on social media. She had shared a post celebrating her 2021 song, Cambia El Paso. And why do people think that that's a big deal? Well,
Yeah, why?
the song is all about leaving a romantic partner and being okay with change.
Does the song mention Batman?
No, but lyrics include, he doesn't deserve to have her in his arms, and her life is better now without him in Spanish. So
We wet.
for what it's worth, J-Lo says that she's celebrating the song's anniversary, but many of her fans, it's hard to ignore the rumors about the couple's
Make an
love
official
life.
statement already that we realize they're split up. Everything indicates they're split up.
Right.
Just say it.
Yep. Yep.
I'm just happy that Taylor and Travis are still together.
Oh,
You still
right.
happy about
thank
that?
God.
Yeah. It's all right if they break up.
Kitty is a schoolgirl.
Tom Cruise is on record as being a movie aficionado. He's also on record as being a loyal friend to those he's close to, and both those traits were on display at the European premiere of Twisters, starring Top Gun Maverick co-star Glenn Powell. Tom posted a picture of the two together with Tom holding a bag of popcorn, captioning it, "Fun night with friends watching a movie." He has other ties to the film. Maverick director Joseph Kosinski wrote the story for the film, and buddy Steven Spielberg is an executive producer on that. And then there's another little Tom follow-up, slightly different, but the movie Edge of Tomorrow may get a sequel someday. The movie's director, Doug Liman, shared with Empire that he says Tom keeps asking him about making a follow-up. He said, we keep talking about it. We love that world. He said, Tom and I just actually rewatched it about 2 months ago because I hadn't seen it in 10 years. And I was like, wow, this is a really good movie. He said Edge of Tomorrow came out in 2014, grossed over $370 million worldwide. It was loosely based, I didn't know this, on a Japanese manga called All You Need Is Kill.
I didn't know that.
But in addition to Cruise, the movie starred Emily Blunt, Bill Paxton, Brendan Gleeson, and others. So it's a great movie, and a follow-up would be pretty cool. They could do it.
I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with the sequel to Oblivion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Two solid movies.
That was a great film.
That taste great together.
This is an interesting little story about Leonardo DiCaprio. He was seen partying in the Hamptons over the weekend, and you never know, you might need to lend a hand to a stranger, and he had helped out an obviously drunk guest at a party thrown by his longtime friend, Richie Akiva. And according to a source, they said at one point, Leo picked up a very drunk guy and put him by a pole.
Here,
Lean
you
on
stay
this.
here.
Yes,
Yeah.
lean on this, buddy.
Hold this up.
He said the guy was literally falling over. Leo put out his hand on the pole so that he wouldn't fall and said, "Stay there."
You know, I used to be a wrestler. Sure, old man. Sure.
It was Ian McKellen?
Yes, I had one too many.
Oh, my God.
Justin Timberlake was pouring.
How bad would it be that this guy is so hammered that he doesn't remember Leonardo DiCaprio
I know, yeah.
sticking him on a pole and helping him out?
That's one thing you never see. You never see DiCaprio in any sort of, drunk
Yeah.
thing or public
You're right.
fights.
Drunkenness.
He keeps it tight.
Yeah. And I wonder if it's if he's got good people around him to help him out with it, or maybe he's just not a partier.
I think he's I think the way he is in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that with Brad Pitt, that kind of regular guy kind of thing. I think that's probably the way he is. I'm probably totally wrong, but that's the way I like to
Maybe
think.
he's just smart, and you know what I mean. Like,
But think of the people who never get that sort of stuff going on. They just get it. They know how to handle
yeah.
the public situation.
Yep. So Disney is reportedly developing, and I didn't think this would happen, a sequel to the 2006 hit movie The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, I
Wow.
love that movie.
While it is not who would return from the original cast, it's said that the sequel will center on, it's not known who's going to return to the cast. It will center on Meryl Streep's iconic Miranda Priestley as she contends with the decline of traditional magazine publishing and goes head-to-head with Emily Blunt's character, now a high-powered executive with advertising dollars that Priestley desperately needs. Interesting idea.
I can see that. We love The Devil Wears Prada. Anytime it's on, I'll stay with it. And but yeah, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
They're doing the musical with Vanessa Williams.
Yeah. So the original film's screenwriter, Aline Brosh McKenna, is in talks to return to write the follow-up. So I don't think there's a need for a follow-up.
Not at all. No.
But that's an interesting conceit about, traditional magazines on the down and then having Emily Blunt's character, who is awesome in that movie, come back.
Here's what you can do. Edge of Tomorrow and Devil Wears Prada crossover because
Together.
Emily Blunt is in both.
Oh.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right about that. So I think the
Devil's on the Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
The Edge of the Devil. One of those could work easily. I like that. So Halle Berry and Glenn Close have officially signed on for the new legal drama All's Fair. The show is set to star Kim Kardashian.
Oh my God!
As well as a top as well as a top divorce attorney at an all-female law firm in Los Angeles. So this is adding, Halle Berry and Glenn Close, that adds a lot of legitimacy.
Yeah.
No!
I know.
God!
Yes. To a Kim Kardashian project.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
The details of the show are are being kept closely secret at this stage.
No!
It is being described as a high-end, glossy, and sexy adult procedural by series creator Ryan Murphy.
Well, so
Yeah.
he's got the pedigree.
Yeah, he does.
And I hate to say it, she was actually pretty good in what I saw of her from the American Horror Story.
heard.
But she was playing a very specific kind of character.
Right. It's still early days for the show, but it's set to come out on Hulu. Kardashian, meanwhile, has worked with Murphy before on American Horror Story.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so. The long-awaited first glimpse of the WandaVision spinoff, Agatha All Along, is here. Disney released the first trailer. Kathryn Hahn is back as Agatha Harkness, who finds herself down and out of power after a goth teen helps break her free from a distorted spell. And together, Agatha and this mysterious teen, who is played by Aubrey Plaza, by the way, pull together a desperate coven and head toward the fabled Witches Road. And Deborah Jo Rupp, who we spoke to not too long ago, is going to
She's in
return.
it, and it's being released around Halloween.
Yeah.
So that should be perfect.
Did any you
I
guys
saw
watch
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
watched the trailer. It
it's
looks
good.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agatha All Along will debut actually with 2-season episode on September 18th, Steve, on Disney+.
Okay.
The fifth Ghostbuster film, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, now has a streaming premiere date. The film, which hit box offices on March 22nd, stars Finn Wolfhard, Carrie Coon, Paul Rudd, and McKenna Grace, with appearances by Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Annie Potts, and Ernie Hudson.
Anybody watch it?
I watched it yesterday.
What'd you think?
On the plane back. It's entertaining. It's a good plane movie.
Yes,
You know,
I know what you're saying.
When you're watching it on your phone. But, you know, the cameos are really nice. William Atherton's in it.
Yeah, his dick roll from the original.
Yeah, Peck.
Yeah.
And so he shows up again, and there's some other memorable cameos.
Oh, the dude from Die Hard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
great
great.
villain.
Yeah. So the film took in over $200 million globally, $113 million of that in the U.S., and it will premiere on Netflix July 22nd.
Do you know I watched yesterday, or Saturday, I watched Axel F.
Yeah, I watched it.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Preston.
Yeah.
I sat there smiling. Like I enjoyed the Beverly Hills Cop movies, but what they did is they just said, let's make another straight ahead Beverly Hills Cop movie as if it was the 90s, same kind of 90s action.
Okay.
The music is all the songs from the original movies, and I really enjoyed it.
All right,
I
good.
really enjoyed it.
I want to see it.
It doesn't. There's no pretense. Then they simply want to make a good Beverly Hills Cop movie.
It takes place in the 90s?
No, but what they did is they approached it
Okay.
almost like an homage to 90s action comedy movies.
Okay.
And right, Case?
Yeah, and it worked.
And it worked.
Yeah.
All right, then I need to see
Yeah.
it. I need to see that. One last thing. If, starring Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski, and Kaylee Fleming, along with a whole ton of all-star voice cast, is streaming on Paramount Plus as of today. The movie was a bit of a disappointment in the States, but it made over $185 million globally. Stars Steve Carell, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Maya Rudolph, Bradley Cooper, George Clooney, and Jon Stewart as Ifs, which are the imaginary friends who are hoping to be reunited with their long-lost friends. You will be able to see that today if you have not seen that as of yet. All right, we're going to roll some clips for you. New Kids on the Block star and HGTV host Jonathan Knight faces his riskiest renovation yet in farmhouse fixture Camp Revamp.
Oh, my God.
Here, the restoration expert talks about fulfilling a lifelong dream.
You know, it's funny because New Kids was something I never thought was going to blow up the way it was. You know, I was ready to go to architecture school and got sidetracked. So it's kind of nice that I have the New Kids, but then I can still do this, you know, at the same time.
Thing sucks.
Farmhouse Fixer Camp Revamp airs tonight. That's on HGTV. Here's our next one. Fly Me to the Moon combines the typical rom-com movie fare with a crazy backdrop. What if NASA really did fake the moon landing? And in this clip, Scarlett Johansson shed some light on the process that went into creating the iconic historical moment in the film.
We recreate the lunar surface, and on the surface there's like the LEM, and then there's the astronauts, and all the guys that were playing the astronauts are all stunt guys. And watching, like hearing the audio of the actual moon landing, and then watching the guys do it on, like they're on wires, so you see like the gravity and like how they're, you know, moving, and it was so surreal.
I want to see you naked.
Fly Me to the Moon releases in theaters this Friday. And that is your entertainment report for this morning, July 9th, 2024, dear friend. We are going to take ourselves a quick break and come back in just a moment or two. It's Tat Tuesday, so if you're interested in a Preston and Steve Show themed tattoo from Floating World Tattoo and Piercing, text the word tattoo to 39333. You might win before the program is over. We'll be back in a sec, so hang out.
Fan who loves a good chili dog.
How'd you get Bowie to do this?
Well, he was in town.
Well, look who it is.
Yeah, hi. Bing, I'm here to tell you about the best chili dog I've ever had.
Sounds great. Do tell.
It's Pat's Chili Dogs.
How did they get him in the first place?
If you like a chili dog, ba-rum-bum-bum-bum.
Where is it?
I don't know. But anyhow, he
Do you
definitely
like a good chili dog?
he definitely owned a Volvo, and that's
Oh no, I've got chili all over my Volvo.
That's Chili Dog's We Buy Gold place now.
Oh, is that what it is now? Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyhow, David Bowie.
Do you have extra gold you'd like to make some money off of?
All right, and then finally, what?
What?
Oh, there you go.
I am David Bowie. I just had an otherworldly experience. As Major Tom, I took you into space, but now it's time to explore your belly.
Okay.
Introducing my new character, Ziggy Chili Dog.
Did he have diamond dogs? Chili dogs. Was that what his album was? Diamond dogs?
Was
This
it?
new one's called Chili Dogs.
How bizarre would it be just out of nowhere?
He just becomes enamored of chili dogs.
That he is all of a sudden he is a proponent of chili dogs. Oh, this is Diamond Dogs, yeah.
Yeah, diamond dogs.
Did you guys hear the news that Khloe Kardashian is pregnant? You may have heard that, right?
Yeah. She was on Ellen, right?
She made the announcement, of course, a little while back. She may be head over heels in love with her boyfriend, NBA star Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, head over heels.
But the revenge body star has no desire to get hitched anytime soon. She told Ellen DeGeneres in the first TV interview since announcing the pregnancy that we're not in any rush for that.
We're in no rush to get married.
She added, as you know, I've rushed quite a few things before.
And I've made some mistakes, and I regret those mistakes.
Referencing her marriage to Lamar Odom after knowing him for 30 days. I forgot
wow.
that's how quickly that happened. Yeah.
It was just 30 days.
Oh my God! Look at this picture.
Yeah.
She does look like a
It looks
giant.
like, it looks like a scene from Pacific Rim.
And
She's a
listen,
kaiju.
not fat.
No.
She's just a tall person.
I love you, Ellen.
Do they have her stats on Wiki? Like how tall she is? and
6'9".
everything?
So, Nick, type in how tall is.
I think she's 5'11".
But like even in their family
Kardashian.
pictures, I don't think she's towering over the rest of them.
No, she's bigger.
I don't know how tall
Because OJ's her father.
Ellen is either.
She's 5'10".
5'10".
There we
That
go.
would make Ellen
Pretty
like
damn tall.
3'11.
Yeah, because that's how tall my wife is. She's 5'10".
Yeah, that's not like
5'9", 5'10", somewhere in that range.
bare range.
But I think the other ones are just, everybody else is just tiny.
Tiny.
Yeah. So anyhow, as you know, she said I rushed into quite a few things before. Right now, I'm so loving the place I'm in and very happy with how things are. We talk about it for sure. What's meant to be will be.
I just love spending time now foraging through garbage cans. It's really a zen thing for me. Ellen.
Kardashian adds that she knows her 26-year-old beau is a good dad after watching him parent his 1-year-old son, Prince, from a previous relationship.
Okay. That's the tip-off.
She said, he's such a good dad. He's so great just during pregnancy, and he makes me more excited, too. I'm excited. That's unbelievable that he has just a 1-year-old and has moved on.
He's a great dad.
He's fathering
He's a
another one
great
over
dad.
here. And
Did he bring Chloe to the birth, Preston? Did she say that?
That's a good question.
Exemplary
To the first
dad?
baby? Yeah.
Sweetie, I'd like you to meet my girlfriend.
How long is her gestation period? Do we know?
I don't know because
It's 2 years.
there's a hibernation thing, right?
You guys are mean.
The one thing is that the baby can immediately forage for itself when
That's
it comes
cool.
out.
There is a picture here of the 4 girls, and she is significantly taller.
Significantly.
I'm a little bigger.
And you know they're wearing heels, Kathy.
Yeah.
When she gets into her laughing fits,
Yeah,
man,
she's so
watch
Can't
out.
stop. It's a runaway train. Her gynecologist actually zip lines in. It's crazy. Okay, everything looks pretty good. Is that a stalagmite? What is that? Oh my God. One-eyed Willie.
Chester Copperpot.
There's an entire pirate ship in here. Hey, you remember when we fought that octopus? Oh, that was in the edited scene.
Yeah, they took that out of the movie.
By the way,
The Gooeys instead of the Goonies.
she's really pretty.
She has.
She's yes.
She doesn't look anything like she used to look. My assistant. Come on over here, man.
Hey,
look
Sloth,
at this.
come
Yeah. Look at this. Navajo cave etchings.
Then when they have to do the look around the back end.
Goonies taking place inside Khloe Kardashian. Quickly, hide in the fallopian tubes. I'll use my chattering teeth to pull us up.
Oh, God. All right. So anyhow,
Okay.
they'll name the boy, if it's a boy, Tristan Jr.
Okay, cute.
Just to let you know. Here's another bit of trivia for National Trivia Day. Long before rap battles, there was flighting, the exchange of witty, insulting verses. The verbal throwdowns were popular in England and Scotland from the 5th to 16th centuries. So it was kind of like, your mama jokes, I guess, going back and forth, but back in the 5th to 16th
Your mater
centuries.
gives handies to the house staff.
Your mater.
Your mater. Your mater inhales snuff through her buttocks.
Burn.
Got you.
Dude, you know what that made me think of? Is we talked about knock jokes being a big thing in the 1930s and 40s.
Yeah.
And you were FDR.
He was trying to.
Doing a knock. Who was that? Your mother manually stimulates migrant workers. Oh my God! Yeah, so they it was called flighting.
Yeah, fighting.
And they would jab, do little jabs at each other.
Your mater is so corpulent, when she sits around the house, the spire sticks in her rectum. Snap.
Oh, snap! Oh my God! All right, so that's what they used to do apparently. So that's been going on for a long time.
I think we talked about this one time, the history of humor and what makes us want to laugh and makes us want to make others laugh, and it goes back. A lot of times, the basis of everything is in insults.
I felt like an idiot yesterday because my 8-year-old daughter got me with a little bit of a joke.
Did she?
Yeah, can I get you with it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, righty. Steve, would you remember me in an hour?
Yes.
Steve, would you remember me in a day?
Yes.
Steve, would you remember me in a month?
Yes.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I thought you said you would remember.
got me. Snap.
I was like, how did I fall for that?
My daughter got me one yesterday too, which was what do you call a suspicious noodle?
What?
An impasta.
I was like, spaghetti?
All right.
It's like beef stroganoff.
Yeah.
Why?
You heard of jerking cattle?
Beef stroganoff. Or did you hear about the peanut walking through the park? It was assaulted. I mean, they're so stupid.
I know, and they're great.
Yeah.
I don't even necessarily know how to verbalize the feeling that I have inside when I see like lame Eagles chants and people making up their own lame Eagles fight songs and lame quote unquote pep rallies.
As you were.
Like forced pep rallies.
Forced pep rallies.
Forced
Okay.
pep rallies. All right, here's one. Yeah, and these I love the outfit and I love the zeal for it.
Can you describe it, please, for
all right,
those who are listening to the radio?
So it is an older couple. Made up, and they're dancing. They're wearing Eagles gear. She's got a cool little Eagles tinsel wig on, and Steve,
Yeah.
I know you love
I'm
tinsel.
a huge fan of tinsel.
Right?
And they're making up their own Eagles song.
So you hate this elderly couple because they've made up their own Eagles song?
I think it's a lame song.
So what? They're having fun.
You know what? And you're right. They are having fun.
Here, Marissa, pull the audio. She heard us talking about this in the break, so she pulled up the audio. I haven't heard this. I've just seen this video footage that we're watching right now. So here we go. This is them, and they're Casey says, lame Eagles fight song.
Fly all the way up. Fly all the way up. Fly all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Eagles, do your thing. We need a Super Bowl ring. Fly all the way up.
Yeah.
Fly all the way up.
Yeah.
Fly all the way up.
Get behind this, right?
Fly all the way up.
I agree with you, Kathy. Yes, they're having fun.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles.
I love it. I love the genuine zeal, the energy. What you don't know is that this woman is an Army veteran
Oh, yes.
who donates her time on the. No, I don't know what the story is. They're having a great time.
Yes.
I was trying to run a CSI diagnosis or analysis of, I think, what these are clearly long time Eagles fans.
They're really happy.
Really entrenched in it. Are you more pissed off about what you perceive to be bandwagon jumpers? Okay, then I'm at a loss.
I just don't. Why do you have to make this lame song? We have a good song.
But they're not.
They're having fun. They're a couple. They're having
And you know
fun
what,
in their
Kathy?
own
I'm
home.
with you. I am
Listen, they're
totally
not
with
out
you.
performing it somewhere.
Fly all the way up. Well, yes, they are.
They're
And
in
now
their
it's
house.
on my Twitter feed.
Let me
I have
ask
no
you
control.
something.
Don't
In
watch
defense,
it.
and Kathy, I know you're going to back me up on this. What do Eagles do?
They fly all the way up.
Exactly.
And then they also swoop down and
Wait,
listen,
I love his participation. Where there's like one time where he's like,
Yeah, that's it.
Well, listen, I don't think they're trying to rewrite the Eagles fight song. They're just having some fun.
Listen, and I know because
Kathy, so we last week had a short work week in anticipation of the holiday weekend. So we had a couple extra days off, and then we had yesterday off. So we haven't really seen each other since the holiday weekend and all that. Everybody have a good time and whatnot.
I did, and there was. I think you can tell because there's a fair amount of communication that goes on, and that was between the collective, and that wasn't happening a lot.
It was
so I assume
limited.
everyone was
Yeah.
off having a good time.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Usually people are. When you get the communications, because people are pissing and moaning over things that are like, "Can you believe this?"
You had asked when we left. You were like, "Kath, what are you gonna do?" I was like, "I'm gonna sleep and rest." And like, that's exactly what.
That's
I
what you
did. Like,
did?
I got
Yeah.
so much sleep. I felt so good.
Good for you. I didn't get any of that.
Oh, why?
Well, you were Ramada Inn.
Yeah, we were hosting.
Oh, hosting.
Yeah, we had 5 guests in with our 5 family members as well, and a couple of extra locals. So we had my wife's family and friends from Sweden who were in, which is great because we love being a host to these guys. But when you have a group of people staying with you, relaxation doesn't really happen much because you're hosting. You're trying to make sure everybody's enjoying themselves. And so on. So we did that.
Yeah, you guys went, I think, above and beyond to host these guys to make sure that they had a great time.
Well,
when
and
they
when-
were in the United States around 4th of July.
Yeah, you got to give them the full American treatment.
Well, and that's the thing
what we
too.
did.
When you're on a trip like that, they're not coming to relax. Like they're coming to do things and see things and experience it all. So if you're hosting, you got to do it too.
So you had them at the right spot for that. You were down, at the shore.
Yeah, and we went, and the first day that we went actually to the beach was on the 4th, and my God, was it mobbed. I mean, as you would imagine.
Yeah.
Everybody had it. It was a nice, warm, beautiful day, breezy and comfortable and everything.
I couldn't believe when Casey was telling me, I know there can be temperature variations.
Yeah.
But we were hovering, mid 90s, upper 90s, with the heat index feeling above 100.
Yeah.
And he was saying that on average, you were looking at about 81, 82 degrees. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, and in the evening, you had to put a little long sleeve, maybe hoodie on or something like that.
Not here. Not
No,
here.
you were getting smacked in the face.
I'm like, what in the
man.
mother F? I had to like X-Acto knife my underwear off my ass at the end of the evening.
I went on 3 different, I think fairly lengthy bike rides, and they were the only thing. It was breezy. Temperature wise, I couldn't imagine having to put that amount of miles in at 95,
Let me ask
100
you, though,
degrees. No way.
Is that the norm? Because
It's always a little bit cooler down the shore.
It's always a little bit cooler. This seems to be you guys were having.
It was 20 degrees cooler down
Perfect
there.
weekend
20
weather.
degrees cooler. That's crazy. When you sweat at night, then it's just you're in the thick.
So
of
that's
it.
why I go full refrigerator mode in my room. The AC, and I mean, listen, I'm not keeping it at a ridiculous Mr. Freeze level. I'm at 70 degrees.
Yeah.
So which is fine. And then I have the ceiling fan on above me high, and then I close the door, and that is the deal. But yes, it is impossible to sleep, and this is a separate conversation. But I agree, I need it to be cool, and then. The best scenario is you just have the ceiling fan on. You don't need the AC.
Yeah. But, being down there, Preston and his wife, they basically had a different shopping list for every single day that they were just to host these people. I cannot wait to talk about.
Well, we had that many people in the house, so we're like, Rochelle and I are planners.
Yeah,
if we're going to do that, we're like, okay, rather than have the issue of, what are we going to do for dinner tonight? I don't know. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
So we mapped it out. We had a meal every night planned. We had a shopping list every day planned. So that way, no rushing to get it all together. And so we had very specific things mapped out.
I'm curious because you did leave one night open for them to prepare the meal for you guys.
It was awesome.
Okay. What was that like?
They made Swedish meatballs.
And gummy bears.
And Swedish meatballs and this shrimp appetizer that was out.
And they were good. They're good cooks.
They were phenomenal. They blew us away. They spent like 3 hours working on dinner.
Really?
Yeah, because they wanted to make sure that
I love that they did Swedish meatballs.
Place settings and everything. Yeah, they did your standard.
Because I love Swedish meatballs.
Swedish meatballs with lingonberry sauce and all that stuff. Yeah, it was excellent.
Dude, that's awesome.
So we did a special meal for them. We had I think we had great food every night, but one night we did the seafood boil, which I told you guys I took out for a spin a few weeks ago.
Just a huge pile of seafood.
Giant pile of seafood on which you dump on the table. You put out paper on the table, and everybody dives in, and it was shrimp and crab and sausage and corn and all the stuff that you put in there. Potatoes. And I had Casey and Chuck's family, or Chuck's and their spouses come by as well because they're right down the street, and I wanted them to meet these guys as well. So they were a part of that festivity.
And we brought my mom as well.
Yeah,
really?
Casey's mom came.
Oh, my God. Your mom does not go down to the shore often, does she?
No, she doesn't. But
she used to surf.
Yeah, she did. She did. But she can't hang Tana anymore because her toes are all weird.
The toes point up now.
Yeah, I mean,
so you can't hang them as much.
Legit, her big toes go across her feet.
So the best you're going to hang is 8.
Yeah, she can hang maybe 7.
His mom was great. She was just enjoying being around these guys. Casey's mom is tiny. She's just this itty bitty little thing.
She's adorable.
Yeah, and listen, and I didn't, and she doesn't get around the way she used to, and also, a little bit older, and so, fitting in, especially with all new people. But I was like, Mom, I think you're going to get a big kick out of this whole this group of guys here, and so she was on the fence, and then. Earlier in the day, she got sunblock in her eye, and I was like, "Oh, she's not going to want to go," because she basically couldn't even see it ever want to. But then she was like, she rallied. Yeah. She's like, "Yeah, I'm going to go." Yeah. She had the best time.
Oh, that is awesome.
She was great. I mean, and as tiny as she is, a couple of these guys are 6'5". Yeah, they're huge.
Axel is ginormous.
He's a big guy. But the best part when they were because Casey was going to take his mom home and then come back. She was going to hang it up for the night. And so as they were getting ready to leave, each one of the guys from Sweden came over and gave her a hug.
They stopped what they were doing.
Totally unsolicited. They came over and gave her a hug.
So sweet.
Which was really sweet. And then Casey took her home and he came back and he goes, "Listen, guys, I just want to let you know that my mom had such a great time, and she just and I quote her, she wanted to say that those boys from Australia were so sweet."
Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
And they thought that was a scream, man. They were dying.
And you know what? It didn't even dawn on me until later on that maybe she meant Austria, and then you guys started messing around with that. I'm like, maybe she did mean Austria, and she said
it's
Australia.
Possible.
Yeah, because people get Austria and Australia mixed up. Only these guys are from Sweden. It was great though.
It had to have been
loved
mentioned at least once or twice while she was there that it was a Swedish contingent, right?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
What was your reaction when she said that?
I said, "Oh my God!" Well, I chuckled and I said, "Mom, they were from Sweden." She was like, "Oh my God, Sweden!"
But listen, man, I drank so much.
All right.
over the course of 5 days because you'd start on the beach.
Yeah,
and on the beach, like,
are they beach dudes?
2, 3 o'clock seems like the perfect time of day to start cracking open beers.
Yeah.
And
those guys were there to do the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, they actually they only went to the beach for one full beach day, one day on the 4th, and that was it. But because there were a couple of soccer matches on, they wanted to watch those back at the house, so they were cracking beers at noon for that stuff. But I mean, like, we were pounding. I think we went through 6 bottles of bourbon.
Were you hurting?
We went through cases and cases and cases of beer. So we have two recyclable bins, and we were filling those up every day. Every day.
Oh, yeah,
with water bottles and cans and bottles. It was insane.
Party recycle bin is the heaviest it will ever be.
It's also, when it's full of bottles, the noisiest thing I've ever heard when it dumps out.
Yeah, and then recycling is only on, Fridays down there, so...
Yeah, so we had to make trips over to the dump. And,
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah, and dump them ourselves.
I was hoping we would spend most of this time talking about the seafood boil, though, because it was awesome. I mean, first of all, it tasted great, but secondly, it looked like it took a lot, but you said it's not that bad.
It's easy to make. It's easier than I thought.
Yeah.
Are you cooking all these things and just putting in a pile?
Yeah, but it goes in an order because the potatoes have to cook first, and then you put the corn. And so, but anyhow, it's the recipe's super duper easy. It only takes like an hour to cook. You got to do a little prep ahead of time, but it makes a mountain of food, and it's fun to eat because you're eating with your hands. It's all out, and everybody's just kind of, you got to tear into the crab and stuff like that. So, and now that my wife bought this, it's got to be 25 gallons. It's the size of a 25-gallon fish.
Sure.
And that's how big this thing is. So we have to do this at least once a year. We're going to have to do that because we now have invested in it.
So how much seafood overall did you buy? How many pounds of seafood would you say you purchased?
So I think we had like 3 or 5 pounds of shrimp, and then probably 6 pounds of crab or something like that. And then, 5 pounds of potatoes.
And I've never eaten like this, Steve, where you have this pile of food in front of you. And then normally, like when you eat, you're like, okay, I'm going to eat this chicken over here. And then I'm going to have, this one, you would take like a mouthful of sausage and then put that down and then throw in a mouthful of seafood and then put that down. Like each bite was different, because there were like 5 different things. I don't know if that's how you were, but that's exactly how I was.
Yeah, I was like a savage.
Right.
I was just ripping
drunk
into it
and
with my
hungry.
hands. Totally, man.
Kath, can you eat like that? And
seafood would not
messy,
be.
Messy
No.
table?
No.
Okay.
No. Steve is answering for me. He knows.
But it was a blast. So we had a really, really good time.
It was crowded down there.
We did a tiki boat thing. We did.
Not the
Pauhana, but
the other one in Wildwood. I've been on that one too. Yeah.
So we had a blast with that, and we just made sure we had something going on all the time. The fireworks obviously were happening left and right down there.
That looked well with your hazy situation. That tends to accentuate the fireworks. How did it look?
That wasn't
down
as
there?
hazy that night.
Not on the 4th.
Not on the 4th.
All right.
But we went to a drone show on the Wildwood Boardwalk on Sunday night, and it was really thick fog. And I was wondering, are we even going to be able to see this?
Yeah.
And actually, Steve, it kind of
lights up everything. Yeah, it was ethereal.
Yeah,
I love that.
It was awesome.
Hey, I have a question about Wildwood and Wildwood Crest. There's a lot of motels with pools, and a lot of them look great. Do you ever just like walk up and do a pool day?
Kathy, there's one motel down there. It's called the Attaché. They have in their motel pool a high dive.
Oh, yeah.
Kath, it's at least 2 meters high, okay? Which is in between, the one...
At the Attaché?
At the Attaché. Now, apparently, you're not allowed to do anything except for jump off of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Probably, the pool's probably not that deep.
I mean, it's got to be deep enough to accommodate a 2-meter diving board.
Right, okay.
But you're only allowed to, I think, jump off of it, maybe do a cannonball or whatever. But
that's what I mean.
Very specific.
I know-
Cannonballs only.
I know
belly flops.
that you can, obviously you could probably get kicked out if somebody figures it out, but couldn't you just like pretend like you're staying and throw your beach bag over your
That's
shoulder
what you're
and go
saying.
sit down?
You could show up, and do they check you?
Yeah, like I'd be like, hi.
Because
there's no
so many-
lifeguard.
I
There's
slept
nothing
so
like
great
that.
here.
Sometimes we'll have a pool attendant that will, kind of straighten things up or whatever. But
Yeah, I'm attaché security.
You guys ever go pool hopping when you were kids?
always.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the worst.
you
is-
really?
Oh
Us
yeah.
too.
Down the shore, we would pool hop in the hotel pools and stuff like that. But no,
Did you really?
Yeah, but
Did
down,
you ever get chased out? Were there ever?
Never.
Were there any?
Never. The only
Because-
pools I ever got chased out of were the pools in my neighborhood.
Because there's so many
Yeah.
people in the area, especially down for the 4th of July, to Kathy's point, it'd be hard to keep an eye on everyone migrating in and out of a pool area.
Well, and a lot of those hotels are kind of mom and pop owned.
Yeah.
And there's like, 3 staff members total.
Right,
and
right.
they're not like checking wristbands and things like that. You could probably just.
I'm John,
wander
and this
in.
is Esther Attaché.
Before we stayed at the Kona for Keenan's, what was the name of that
North
place?
Winds.
North Winds, yeah. And that turned into like a party scene. That
Yeah.
pool, like people were there, and so much so that like we ended up not getting any sleep.
We ended up not staying there anymore.
Yeah.
Because of it.
And they are the nicest people, and the
Absolutely.
people were having a blast. But the door faced right out to the pool, which was playing Billy Ocean to 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, I don't miss that at all.
No.
I got arrested one time with swimming in, this was a high school, and we went to Martin's Dam swimming pool, and so it was me and Tim Sullivan, and Tim, I know you're listening, and Jong and Cindy and Amy, and it was a really low fence, so practically they were inviting you to come in and swim, and then it was like 12:30 in the morning, and Tim was 17, so he had to call his parents when we got arrested, and we were doing cannonballs and yelling. We were such friggin' idiots.
Well, you tried to keep it low key by doing cannonballs at 12:30 in the morning.
I mean, Steve, like looking back on it, I just like we were so incredibly stupid, and yet we thought we were clever at the time.
I know. Well, I said that it's what you do when you're young.
You got to think that when the cops showed up at 12:30 in the morning, like they were just, really, guys, this is what you decided to do?
Wow. But while we were Jersey Shore bound, Nick was Americana.
Yeah.
Driving
This is very cool.
halfway across the country for the celebration of our nation's birth.
Yeah, so I drove from here, from Villanova to, from Philly to Colorado.
Your first trip of this distance?
No, I've done it a few times.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, but I've never done it with my son before. And so Ben is 17 now, and he's starting to look at colleges. And so we went to Pittsburgh, which I hadn't been to in a long time. We saw University of Pitt and Carnegie Mellon, which are right next to each other. And Pittsburgh's a really cool little town. It was really fun. And there's a nice area to like bars and stuff around where the Steelers play and where the Pirates play, PNC Park. So we had dinner there, and then did 2 national parks on the drive. We went to
Both in Ohio, right?
Cuyahoga Valley National Park, which is outside of Cleveland, and then Indiana Dunes National Park, which is on the south shore of Lake Michigan, maybe about an hour or so from Chicago. If you're a national parks person like I am, I cannot recommend more highly Indiana Dunes. You can probably skip over Cuyahoga Valley, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
What makes that a national park? I mean,
Cuyahoga Valley?
Yeah.
I don't know, Casey.
Okay.
It's a nice little park. It's a cool place to visit, but it's no better or different than Ricketts Glen or Ridley Creek State Park or Valley Forge. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know why it has
It's a
achieved national park status. Yeah.
Usually the national park stuff is like majestic.
Somebody got.
Yeah.
This is just chestic.
Somebody got it through Congress at some point and made it a national park.
Listen, could we just do me a solid?
Ohio needs one, right? But
I ain't got squat.
Indiana Dunes was so freaking cool, and I'm not really like a lake person, and I never spent a ton of time on any of the Great Lakes, but Lake Michigan was so beautiful. You guys were talking about how hot and disgusting it was here. I didn't experience any of that. It was perfect weather in Chicago. It was so nice, a really nice lake breeze. And then from Chicago, we went and we checked out Northwestern, which was really fun, and Evanston's a really cool town. And then from there to Omaha, Nebraska, and then Omaha to Colorado.
Dude, you were for just a couple of days. You were basically like Clark Griswold at the Grand Canyon. Let's go.
Yeah, it was a really well. I wanted to get to Colorado and spend time with my family there. And when we pulled in, my brother was grilling, and it was a perfect place to be and a perfect place to arrive. And it was a really nice destination, and it was great to do it with my son. Like it was a really cool road trip to do with just the two of us. But oh my God, do I love Colorado so much? It just was absolutely perfect weather.
I was going to ask.
75 degrees, no humidity, and
it was like that here.
Steve, man. So I get to the airport yesterday, and I'm like, "Hey, what's the weather been like in Philly for the last few days?" And I hadn't even bothered checking. And I love this area. I've spent my entire life here. I don't want to live here for the rest of my life, especially because of the summers.
Do you think you would end up out there? Would
I
you
think
go?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's just low humidity and a nice breeze. And Steve, we were watching like some fireworks off in the distance on they had a displays on the 5th as well. And we were outside and we had blankets on. Feeling the breeze coming off the mountains. It was really lucky to be there and a really cool experience.
Could you handle the winters there?
I think so.
You do full time?
You know why? Because you do stuff in the winters. You can go skiing or snowshoeing or whatever, and there's always stuff going on. Everybody spends time outside in Colorado, and
snow dancing. That's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of snow dancing. No,
How long
it just
did it take? When did you actually get
It's
there?
like a square dance. In
Wait,
the
is
snow.
snow dancing a thing?
It's a big.
in Colorado.
I just made it up.
Okay, all right.
It's a thing in Colorado.
I mean, come on.
It started in the Rockies. No, Steve knows.
Snow dancer.
It started in the
Snow
Rockies.
dancing.
Yeah.
It's our first coat of snow. 6 inches or above. We can't dance in anything less.
That's cool, man. That's it is stunning out that way. And driving, you enjoyed
I would
that
do it
part of
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so my
Flew
parents
back though, right?
flew back last night.
Snow dancing.
I was going to say something.
All right. Sorry, man.
No. Casey asked how long it took. So we
yeah.
left on Wednesday right after the show, and we were there by Saturday night. I wish I had a little bit more time because it is a long way to drive. And Casey, obviously, you and Jackie and Anthony did the drives a couple of times last year.
Let me tell you something. Sometimes
it's a long way to go.
Sometimes doing it the way you did it is you got to do at least a couple of times that way where you're kind of Whitman sampling everything.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of get an idea where you want to go back. And there's just something fun in, can I get all these stops in this allotted time? And you guys did.
We kind of knew where we wanted to be each night. So the first day was 5 hours, the second day was 6 hours, then 7, and then 8. So we spent a lot of time in the car, and the drive across Nebraska was long.
Who controlled the radio?
We both did. I listened to some Travis Scott.
Somebody asked text-wise, were you raw driving?
Yeah. Had my eyes closed most of the time. No, what I was going to say before is my parents are kind of limited in their mobility, so they used to drive out to Colorado every summer, and now they have chosen to fly. So, but they still needed the car, so that's why we did the trip. We got their car out to them.
So with the music control, as Steve was saying, that can be interesting because if did he turn you on to some of the stuff he's into?
He tried. I listen, man.
You're not a Travis Scott fan now?
I'm not, and I really go in with open mind, and I want to bond with my son over music. I'm like, and Preston, I was playing the Forrest Gump soundtrack because there's a lot of good road songs in there. And he was like, okay, I'm going to put my headphones back on. I was like, no. Let's listen to the music you want to listen to. So we, 45 minutes of Travis Scott. I was like, you can put your headphones on now if you want.
Listen, you just be honest.
Yeah.
Honesty is fine. You're not sitting there, begrudging the fact that you're listening to something you hate.
Right.
And for the long thing, you can, as long as he took a shot, that's all that matters.
It was really cool to bond with him and spend that much time with him in the car. And we had a lot of
roly-poly.
A lot of cool conversations. Yeah. Roly-poly on his wrist. But I've been to 28 national parks now. There are 63, so I crossed 2 more off the list, which is really cool. And I don't know which one's going to come next. Maybe North Cascades this summer. But anyway, it was a really cool thing to do. And I know there were a ton of wind farms in Iowa, like in between Chicago and Des Moines and Western Iowa. It was one wind farm after another. Massive windmills. And so I posted a whole bunch of photos up on Instagram, and it was really cool. Like we were driving west and saw the sunset across the wind farms as we were working our way west in Iowa. It was really neat to see.
Nice. So at 3 more parks, and then you're at your halfway point.
Yeah.
To celebrate that.
Yeah,
somehow.
there are 8 in Alaska, so I got to get to Alaska at some point. I've never been there.
No, it's going to rock your world, man.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's a cool trip.
Anybody else have any interesting things, Steve?
I did. I decided that this would be the time off that I would have a full-blown fly infestation in my house.
Fly
And I was
infestation.
able to pull that off.
What?
So it was Friday. The house is, listen, we make sure the garbage gets thrown out. We make sure windows are sealed up. We do the process. We do the checkups and everything. So we really don't ever have, in fact, we've had no stink bugs in the house. We've had those, I call them silverfish, but they're not. I mean,
I know what you're talking about.
We've had a particularly low insect level in the house. Mm-hmm. So, because Jeopardy's on Friday or whatever. Okay, hon, I'm going to put tea on. I go into the kitchen, and Rod Steiger in the original Amityville Horror faced less flies in that room than I did when I went into the kitchen. I mean, the windows were covered with flies, like crazy amount of flies. And I'm like, what the F? So I immediately grabbed the garbage. I'm like, something came in or something had to do that.
Something's
There was nothing in the garbage. There was no fly, and I washed it out, and then I run out and get the old style fly strips.
So
and
they were like the
they were house flies.
The house flies,
yeah,
okay.
and loads of them. And then I start spraying. I mean, it must have been. It was like the Tet Offensive for flies. They're just dying, and I'm like, what the hell?
You don't know where they came from.
Not a clue.
So they must have, there must have been a batch of eggs that
in something
maggots turned into flies, and
But so we
larvae.
clean everything, and they're still there. And so I call Orkin. And I get them to come over because we had one service that ended up not working out for a long time, and they did pretty good care of the house. But the guy from Orkin comes over, and he comes over like he's got a regular a suit that like an outfit they have to wear, and he's got his things, and he looks like whatever the equivalent of a state of the art Batman. Flea or whatever the hell. What do you call the service? The exterminator. That's it. He comes in. He's looking like $1 million. He said, "Okay, this guy's going to figure out where the hell the flies are coming from." He goes down into the basement, and apparently he says he took a walk around the perimeter. Usually, what happens is an animal will die around the perimeter of the house,
Right.
like a mouse. He believes something got into the house and died in a wall.
Oh no!
In the basement. So what he did is he sealed up all the areas, sprayed around all the areas, and it made sense because he said what will happen is like in the course of just a couple hours, they all hatch. They just like take off.
That's crazy.
So when they come out, that's why we went from 0 to infestation so quickly.
It was all of them hatching?
They were all coming up. So what happens is that they are at the top of the steps, the basement steps, our kitchen. And the 2 windows are there.
Oh, God.
So that's what they're looking to get out. So they just come like flying up and into those windows.
Oh, I want to die.
And Kathy, Claire is like out of her mind because whatever this guy did, and he was tremendous. And again, shout out to Orkin for doing this. Immediately the population dropped like 90%, and by the middle of the next day, not a fly in the house. But I mean, you would walk in and you would have thought, oh, I guess Pazuzu's here.
Right.
Because I don't know who brings this many flies.
Wow. There's been a couple of occasions where, we only have a once a week garbage pickup and we've missed it. And for whatever reason, whatever's in the trash can was yummy to flies and they procreate. And I've seen maggots all over. And I'm like, I just can't stand it. But it's never gone to the big fly birth infestation before.
What we had assumed is there was a neighborhood cat that had come by and Claire had put out a little bowl of food. She wiped out the food before she brought the dish back in, but the perception was maybe there were some eggs laid in the dish or whatever, and then that happened. But that wasn't the case because, I mean, the whole notion, and then my neighbors happened to be over, they talked about, they were sitting in their living room one time, and I didn't realize it happened this way, but there were termites in their house, and basically the room filled with flying termites.
Oh my God!
Almost like they were blowing out of a hose.
Wow!
And they just And you think of like a duck egg cracks open.
Yeah.
It's like this is like bam, here we are.
A brood.
I hate it.
Wow. So when you saw all those flies on the windows and stuff like that, did you start swatting them?
I started beating the piss. I was about to put my fist through the glass because it was too many. And then when I started spraying them, I got whatever the first commercial. I went over to my Acme on Mermaid Lane and got all my stuff. Thank God they were well stocked. And Preston, I mean, there were. It looked like in Endgame or Infinity Wars where the bodies are all piled.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like with the ants, with the flies.
Here's a text, and we had a call up as well, but he hung up. It says, I just had this too, literally hundreds of flies. Googled it. Seems that they follow the leader in, usually around rain or something like that.
So
I guess the scenarios may be different.
Well, he was saying, the Orkin guy was saying that this is something that they're hearing a lot, especially this summer for some reason. Indoor housefly infestation. And I think it's because, mice and everything, because of the heat or whatever, or the lack of water, are drawn inside. And so we had something, but now they pretty much eradicated the problem.
Wow, here's text says that there's something called cluster flies, and they just choose a place to lay eggs, and it can even be the siding of your house, and they can come back 1 or 2 more years later.
Yeah, so we signed up for the full service.
Yeah.
And but this guy was thorough, man. But I'm like, I didn't realize. I mean, it literally had a biblical look to it when I walked into the kitchen. I'm like, what in the F? Because I'd figure you'd see a fly. Wow, there's a couple extra flies in the house or whatever. No, man, it was carnage.
Somebody says a recommendation is to use the hose attachment on your vacuum cleaner. Works like a charm. I've never thought about
Actually,
that.
that's a great idea.
Well,
If you've got that many of them.
Yeah.
So for some reason, my younger daughter, she has, her room is the stink bug room, and she hates bugs.
Yeah,
So
like how, and that happens. Like
Yeah.
they'll pick a room.
yeah, so I got her, well, not her, but I got this, it's a dustbuster, essentially, is what it is. I got it for the cars and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but she was cleaning her room yesterday, and I was like, because she wanted me to handle all I was like, I'm not doing that. So here's the dustbuster. Suck them up with this. You don't have to touch them with your hands or anything like
It's
that.
a good idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
So you guys are good? You got it taken care
Not
of?
a fly in the house. I mentioned this is Friday, and it was Flyapalooza.
Wow.
And now we're clean.
Very
This
good.
house is clean.
God. Well, a little 4th of July
Yay!
adventure for you guys.
I mean, you guys were in 81-degree weather with a massive pile of seafood in front of you, enjoying it.
It was terrible.
I was fulfilling a biblical prophecy.
Wow. Well, some have different experiences over their vacation. So, all right, anyhow, it is good to be back, friend, and that's where we are doing our radio program. So I want to go ahead and take a break and come back in a moment and share some bizarre file stories. There certainly have been some over the last few days. We'll get to that. And a reminder that around this time tomorrow morning, around 8-ish, we will have a champion for the Jersey Shore 64. If you've not voted yet, make sure that you do. There's only 2 left. Cape May Lighthouse and Cape May Zoo.
Yeah.
Or no, not Cape May Lighthouse.
Cape May Zoo.
Cape May Zoo and Maurice Piers that are going against each other. So do that now, and you might win $500. We're going to take a break and be right back.
Dog mask. And anybody that wants to criticize the dog mask craze, I say, shut up. We're just having fun. You know what I mean?
You're contradicting
I'm
yourself
barely
here.
contradicting myself.
He's admitting
Yes.
the hypocrisy here.
Yeah.
So you're saying on a completely visceral level, and you don't understand it.
Right.
Is it all just based on the fact that you think this song sucks?
Yeah, I think.
When I think it's brilliant?
Well, all right. So I think I'm mad about the song because it was presented to me, and I believe it was presented to me on Twitter. Like, dude, this is great.
What do you mean? It was posted.
No, yeah, but it was somebody sent it to me.
Oh.
So somebody added me, and they're
Great
like,
as in-
"This is great," and I was expecting it to be like this awesome song, and then I click on it, I'm like, "Oh,
That's not their fault. It's the person who sent it to you.
I think what they meant by this is great is look at this older couple having fun. That's
Yeah.
probably what it means.
Fly all the way up.
Yeah.
Fly all the way up.
way up."
Did you see?
Fly all the way up.
I love that.
Fly
I mean,
all the way up.
Yeah.
Come on, Eagles,
wanna
do
hear his.
your thing. We need a Super Bowl ring. Fly all the way up.
yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Wait, it's not even a whole. Yeah. It's like this. Well,
Yeah.
I'm on camera too.
it almost sounds like a someone from Maine. I'll.
Fly all the way up.
Yeah. Can we have some goddamn dinner now?
We should try and start a new chant. I think this one is
S-E-A-G. No, not Seagull?
no, not seagulls. No, fly all the way up.
Fly all the way up.
Yeah.
Fly all the way up.
Hang on, we have the actual.
Fly all
You've
the
come
way
around
up.
on this, haven't you?
We have the.
Fly all the way up.
I think we have the song that
All right.
that inspired the
Come
whole thing.
on, Eagles, do your thing. We need a Super Bowl ring.
Wait, here's
Fly all the way up.
best part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just, I've been with this woman for 33 years, and every day is a living hell.
Here we go.
Shorty, what you want? I got what you need. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. All the way up.
I hear his part now.
I'm all the way up.
All right, so that's what it came from.
I hear his part now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
What? Is the dinner ready? Yeah. They're an adorable couple. They're having a blast. Yeah.
Well, I actually think that is the guy filming. The guy in the background, I don't think he
Doesn't ever
does
say anything.
I don't think he does
He
anything.
is dancing.
He is dancing. Yes.
Yeah.
He's got some moves.
Is this song done now? Did we win the Super Bowl yet?
Have you seen these tattoos that people will get of waveforms?
Of what now?
And you can use an app on your phone that reads the waveform and actually plays your tattoo. A gal got a tattoo, a waveform tattoo of the last voicemail that her grandmother sent her, left her before she died.
That's freaking wild.
And it was like, hey, honey, just wanted to call and say hi. All right, I'll talk to you later, something like that. And so she took the digital waveform, which any digital audio equipment, you visually see a waveform, and they managed to tattoo it. Here's a video of it up here on the monitor here, Steve. And they tattoo it on their skin, and then you hold this app up to it, and it reads it and plays it. How
In their voice?
In their voice.
Shut.
Because the waveform is precise to the to the
tonal quality of the voice.
And it's amazing. Now, my question is how long is that going to last? That tattoo is eventually going to, bleed a little bit in the size.
Hi, sweetie. I just called
But
now I regret getting that tattoo.
But it's pretty amazing.
Probably should have watched my weight.
Yeah.
Hi, sweetie. It's Grandma talking.
There's stretch mark for it.
Yep. Yeah, put it in a spot that's not, put it like on your gut or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
something that's not going to expand or contract over time.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool. Talk about a tattoo that has some meaning.
Yeah.
And that can be converted to the audio is very cool. Even still, just a visual representation of your loved one's voice.
I just don't understand how that works, how it's their actual voice and not, do you know what I mean? Like,
because the waveform is now it may be what happens is, I don't know the specifics. In the perfect scenario, the waveform represents exactly all the tonal aspects of what it's representing. However, maybe what it does is the app plays it back through a stored recording that matches that waveform.
Let's find out. I'm looking it up right now.
Because it almost seems...
Where are my cookies?
Yeah, it almost seems impossible. And you want the waveform to sit in their best.
Right, yeah.
I have to piss.
It's great hearing him again.
You don't want me dead. You can have my money, you blood-sucking bastards.
I also like to look at animated feature film. Because
Yes.
we watch a lot of animated movies in my house. The Boss Baby. Nick, you liked that, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
I saw it. It's funny. It's funny for adults.
Yeah.
The Breadwinner.
Oh, is that one of those lame ones?
And from Czechoslovakia, the breadwinner.
I didn't know you spoke Czech.
They show a clip or something. You don't even know what it is.
It's the Czech Republic now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the cashier's
But
Czech
Steve's
Republic.
right. This is a headstrong young girl from Afghanistan. She disguises herself as a boy and blah, blah, blah.
All right, the Breadwinner.
Because she wants to learn and then go to school and go to college and have a life. Shut up.
Okay.
Kathy, Coco's on here.
Yay, that was so good. I loved it.
That was so good.
I like two chickens to Coco, please.
Is that really how it sounds?
Two chickens to Coco. I think you need the photosensitive screening.
It's fine. I hate myself.
I like Coco.
So Coco's on there.
It was very good.
Ferdinand, which none of us have seen.
It's John Cena doing the voice of the Ferdinand the Bull.
I would like to see that. And then Loving Vincent. That's got to be another one of those, right?
Yep.
From Romania, Loving Vincent.
It's about Vincent Van Gogh?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like a great cartoon.
Boring.
Yeah. Maybe one of the guys from The Bachelor would be there.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love you. I cut my ear off.
Saoirse Ronan's in that too.
He has
Oh,
a
is
talking
she?
cat.
I love it.
Oh, this is rotoscoped. So the process of rotoscoping is taking live film and coloring it in.
Oh.
It's not even animation. Shut up.
All right, stop me on a category that you care about. All right, foreign language film editing, production design, costume design.
Ooh.
She's back.
Ooh, I say Coco.
All right, here we go. Beauty and the Beast.
You know what?
They had great outfits in there.
I was a sucker for that. But did you see it?
I
Yeah.
didn't see it. No,
Kathy,
I didn't see it.
I was not, I wouldn't say I was resisting it, but I'm like, how are they going to improve on the original French version?
Right.
And then the animated version? They did a great job.
All right, so this is a costume design. Darkest Hour, Phantom Thread, What does it have an L there? It's The Shape of Water.
The Shape of Elvis.
No, it was L, The Shape of Water.
Okay.
And Victoria and Abdul. I don't know that one.
That's the Queen Victoria
Yeah.
goes to like
Right.
Iran or something.
Okay. Makeup and hairstyling.
Nah.
Original score.
Yes, yes.
And,
Michael Giacchino.
Michael Giacchino has anything on here. I don't know.
He did Coco.
Is-
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Preston and Steve Show in Philadelphia, Kathy Romano. The world of animation is a wonderful world.
All right. Here are the original score. Dunkirk. Lisa Marie Presley.
Wow.
Lisa Marie turns 50 years old.
That's right. It's little Lisa Marie.
Yeah, little.
It's okay. It's okay. She's 14.
Well, it was a different time.
It was a
back
different
then, yeah.
time, man, when you could date a 14-year-old and have sex with a monkey in the room.
Well, this is his daughter. This is the king's daughter, Lisa Marie, not Scylla.
Scylla. Yeah.
So
I get them all confused.
I know. But she is, she's turning 50 years old today, so it's a big one for her.
Now, she was married to Michael Jackson and Randy Keough.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's Randy Keough?
I think
Danny
that's
Guy or
Danny Keough.
Danny Keough.
Yeah, and then she was also married to Nicolas Cage, and then she was married to a guy named Michael Lockwood, and
It's a whole morass of stuff.
currently single.
She participated in probably one of the most awkward kisses ever televised, which
Yeah.
was the MTV. And he said it wouldn't last. Look, I'm hetero.
It was so weird. It was so weird.
Look, I can kiss chicks. All right, here we go.
Let's just count down.
It took every bit of effort.
Your little boy, your little boy, your little boy.
Oh, dude. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I did it!
Oh, Jesus. That's what's going through his head.
Your little boy, your little boy, your little boy, your little boy. Your little... I did it!
You donked it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, Lord.
He said it wouldn't last. In your face. I'm a little boy forever.
Has she ever said anything?
She says, she actually says it was a good relationship, like a regular relationship. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's how he powers through.
Your little boy, your little boy.
All right, here you go. Your little boy, your little boy, your little boy, your little boy.
All right, jeez.
It's like when we were eating the surströmming.
Yeah, you're like,
All right.
This is prime rib. This is prime rib.
And there's only one waterbed store in New Jersey. And they have, I'm looking up the pricing, but it's conveniently located near Route 1 and 287.
That's when you call him, yes, hello?
Okay. Close to
Dear God.
Yes, hello? What?
That's a pizza place. You got the wrong number.
Hang on, let me.
What a message! Yes, hello, can I help you? Yes, Blue Night. Yes, we have them, and we're open.
It's like,
Yes, hello.
I don't think I've ever heard you yell into that filtered microphone for.
Go ahead, kid.
He's looking for it. Hang on a second.
Yes, hello. Yes, Waterbeds, we have them. Waterbeds, hello. You're the receiver.
Falling on the floor.
Yes, hello! Wait a minute. Do it with the receiver.
There we go.
There we go. All right.
Yes, hello. Yes, Waterbeds, we got him.
I don't know. That's got to be a lonely gig.
I grew up, where in St. Louis there was a place called the Waterbed Store, and it was they had several locations around the city and everything.
Yes, hello. Yeah, who is it? What? No, wrong number.
Damn it.
They sell them on Amazon.
Please stand, please. Yes, we're open. You just say, I'll come to you.
Is this the Waterbed Store?
Don't even drive here. I'll come to you. Where are you?
Thank you, Kathy. Since it is 8 a.m., we will make you aware of the fact that we will be broadcasting live this Thursday from Dorney Park. It's the Preston and Steve Show Day Off at Dorney. And in order for you to be able to get free admission and early admission to the park, you need to get in on winning the tickets that we have to give away. And we have hundreds of tickets we're giving away. It's a 4-pack of tickets that you can win by entering the word SPLASH. Now, where do we enter this word? It's easy. You go to the Preston and Steve Show social channels like Facebook, Instagram, Story, X, and then we will have a link there. And you can go through that way and then enter the word SPLASH. So check our socials, and you'll be able to get in early and then partake upon the rides that don't have any lines at all.
I was looking at a map of Dorney, and there's so much great stuff there. I'm so excited.
And let's emphasize the Wildwater Kingdom. Because
Yes!
it's a little toasty warm these days.
Yeah.
And this would be perfect for you. But we do have the all-new Iron Menace roller coaster that we would be broadcasting right next to. So that is this Thursday. Enter the word SPLASH now, and you will be in the running to win.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, this morning it is brought to you by Delco Trim Light. You can visit delcotrimlight.com to schedule an estimate on installation of the coolest permanent programmable holiday lighting system around. Well, before you go sending wedding announcements or posting pics of the beautiful ceremony on social media, it's a good idea to make sure that the ink is dry on your divorce papers from any previous marriages.
Yeah, it's good advice.
Unfortunately, one Houston man is learning that very important lesson the hard way. A woman identified as Tammy says that she learned that her husband, Marcus Shorten, was marrying another woman after seeing a post for a wedding registry on Facebook. And Tammy says the post was especially shocking because she and Marcus are still married.
Yeah, that's going to cause a fight.
Tammy, by the way, who is Shorten's third wife, says that the two got married in 2012 but separated in 2019. Although she brought up the idea of divorce to him more than once, he refused, saying he didn't want his family to think of him as a failure.
No.
As he would be now heading into his fourth marriage. Shorten has been charged with bigamy, a third-degree felony, according to Texas law, which could come up with up to a 10-year imprisoned sentence.
That was pretty bigamy.
But the 53-year-old Shorten is doubling down. When asked to confirm the news of the charges, he said that he didn't know anything about them and denies being married to anyone.
What wife?
Tammy says Shorten's actions were wrong, ruining not only her life, but his new wife's in the process. She added that she has got the police involved because she believed that he needed to be held accountable.
It's the worst thing when your wives start fighting.
Yes, when the wives all get
go
together
at
and
each other.
fight.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously over the 4th of July weekend, with as many fireworks celebrations and amateur fireworks celebrations that go on, you hear of some accidents and so on. There are several, but I wanted to point this one out because you never, ever, ever want to do this. One person has died from a fireworks incident on the 4th in Summerville, South Carolina. The coroner says that Alan Ray McGrew ignited a large firework and placed it on his head.
Yeah, that's what he did.
The device exploded on top of his head, and obviously it caused massive injuries, and dude died.
Well, when you think of the safest place to launch a firework from, it's got to be your head.
Alan's wife told officers that he started drinking around 6 p.m. that evening. She said while he was advised to stop, he was attempting to show off.
He did.
The sheriff's office is investigating with the coroner's office, but he was dead at the scene. Like, it killed him
Jesus.
outright right there. So, I mean, it's a bomb you're putting
on your head.
It's insane. Wow. All right. Kathy sent me this story. I'm putting it in the bizarre file, and it's about Wawa. So there is a guy. His name is Tyler Gurizin. He's of Barnegat, New Jersey, and he has saved every numbered order slip from Wawa. He said, I've been going to Wawa my whole life. I always start my day with a coffee, and I usually get lunch from there, sometimes dinner. And what started as a joke in 2021 quickly turned into a challenge. So for years, he's been saving his Wawa order slips, and on Monday, he decided to lay them all out, all 1,000 of them, in customer order numbers from 0 to 999. So when you get your order slip,
right.
it says, like, number 241. And so he has gone around and he has collected these over the years.
It's amazing.
Numerically go from 0 to 999.
So he had so many purchases, he was able to complete the numeric cycle from 0 to 999.
No, these are not all his purchases as well. He took to social media. He'd said, I've been sitting in this collection for a couple of months now, and I had the motivation to lay them all out today. Once he knew that he was getting close to his goal, he started going 2 or 3 times a day and even asking his friends for help. I would start telling my friends, hey, I needed number 212. If you find a number 212, please send it my way.
Right.
So most of these are his, yes, but they are.
He's had to reach
there were
out.
Numbers that were missing in order for him to make it complete. So,
did he go to any receipt conventions?
No, but from New Jersey to Pennsylvania and Orlando, he's been all over. He said that he didn't even want to think about how much money he spent at Wawa alone. Wawa even replied to his post praising his dedication, saying, this is the level of dedication we're talking about. He said, I get mac and cheese every single day. I get a nice latte every morning. Wawa is like a pretty standard part of my diet. So the next goal that he is working on is getting a photo in front of every single Wawa. He said this challenge actually started before the order slip challenge, and they are opening stores faster than he can keep up with. He said that he will definitely take in a few years in order to accomplish that, but he's going to try.
How many locations? Did they mention how many Wawas?
Not in this story.
As of June 30th, 2024, Wawa has 1,032 locations in Alabama, Delaware, Florida, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and other areas.
Man, that's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, how about this story? In Kansas, a man is dead after his home-built helicopter crashed.
Okay.
On
What
Friday.
you working on there, Earl?
Yeah.
It's a helicopter. Yeah.
First responders were called to the crash. Crews arrived to find the Rotorway Scorpion 133 on fire. When first responders arrived, they found the small helicopter on fire in the middle of a soybean field. The person who reported the crash said that it appeared the aircraft was having engine issues. The victim, a man around the age of 70, had been identified and family notifications are being made.
You were in that helicopter.
I forgot about that, and I was hoping you were going to do that when I saw this story the other day. The FAA...
You were in that helicopter.
The FAA is doing their investigation along with the Sheriff's Department and the National Transportation Safety Boards.
Listen, God bless people who build their own aircraft, and John Denver died in a
maybe a soapbox derby car or something like that.
It goes wrong. You veer off into some garbage cans.
I put together entertainment centers from IKEA.
Yeah,
I can't
you're not flying them over your house.
I can't even. I don't even trust putting a TV on the table that I've built.
Yeah, but when you're in that helicopter,
You were in that helicopter.
I'll play it on.
You were in that helicopter, and you were nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist, and I'm after you, buddy.
All right, one last story. This was a local one from a couple of days ago, but I wanted to throw this in there. Police in Bucks County have tracked down the owners of an emu that was seen wandering the area late Thursday night.
They can't track those things because they don't stink.
Newtown Township Police took to social media to share that officers had come across a strange sight While on 4th of July patrols, officers spotted the emu wandering in the area of Stoopville Road and Rosefield Drive.
By the way, emus can be aggressive case. Remember we had you out?
Yeah.
At Lynn Villa?
Yeah, he just ate a carrot out of my crotch. That's all.
They were able to reach the owners, who said that the bird escaped during the fireworks and poses no threat, but they apparently were able to find him. So they used a helicopter.
You're in that helicopter.
And that is what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right, let us take a break. A quick reminder that our Preston and Steve Day Off at Dorney digital word of the day is splash. And the only way to win tickets to the early entry of the park on this Thursday, is to enter to win. And we have a 4-pack of tickets that you could end up snagging for this event. And you have to go to our social media channels in order to enter. There is a link at Facebook and Instagram story and X from the Preston and Steve accounts that you can click on and then enter the word splash, because we would love to see you there on Thursday. It's our first time ever broadcasting from Dorney. We've been there many times for great events.
I am so looking forward to this. It's a return to that. Doing stuff at amusement parks is terrific, and we've loved Dorney every time we've gone.
Yep, Dorney Park and Wild Barter Kingdom for the fun of it, and we'll be broadcasting from the new Iron Menace while we're there. Take a break. Be right back. Stay with us. Jim, I'm going to go to Jim, uses a waterbed still. Hey, Jim, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you? Gadzooks.
Gadzooks. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I own a waterbed. I use it every night.
Oh, no, we're talking about waterbeds, not waterbeds.
Different product.
Different product.
What is
Jim,
that?
How long have you had it?
20 years.
Yeah, Jim, is that you? You want to buy another one? Jim!
I had to buy another one about 3 years ago and had to order it from California.
Okay.
Jim, is that you? Jim!
He's the last waterbed owner.
Jim, is that you? Jim!
By the way, here's a text that says Jordan Woods is her best friend. How do you report on them all the time and not know this? I don't pay attention to
Yes,
reports.
of course.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this
I
is
just
all-
report this stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
Our goal is to not retain any of
At
this.
6:58, we have forgotten everything about the job.
Absolutely.
And that's the way it should
Well,
be.
Jordan Woods was never, ever spoken on this show.
What?
No, I don't know the name Jordan Woods either.
I'm sure at some time or another. I'll
If
probably
I
say.
have, I think through therapy I was able to forget it.
But anyhow, as Kylie's baby news took over the internet, her mom, Chris, was whooping it up.
Jesus Christ.
At Chrissy Teigen and John Legend's house.
Stop it.
And they were watching the Super Bowl. But it looks like, hold on, it looks like Jenner may have had too much fun. Tegan shared a shot of a broken table on Snapchat explaining that Jenner crashed into it.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Kris Jenner smashed into the table, apparently, and took it out while
Oh no, that's my favorite table.
that's while she was
It's
whooping,
Shelbyville, isn't it?
whooping it up. Our next guest is an accomplished writer and director. A couple little things you may have heard of before, like Loopers and Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And you want me to play his case? There you go. Need a fanfare when we bring somebody on board. But he is here to promote the film Knives Out, which is star-studded, looks really, really cool. Please welcome writer and director Ryan Johnson.
Thank you.
Hey, Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing great, President. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. We're excited about this.
Tremendously.
We're fans of the murder mystery, the whodunits, and all that, and you just don't see them that often. And
this style, because in the vein of Agatha Christie, and in the vein of 12 Little Indians, Murder on the Orient Express, the Hitchcock, that sort of stuff. And when they're done well, there's nothing like them. They just totally bring you in.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite genres, man. Like I grew up reading Agatha Christie's books. I grew up reading like the movies based on them, and it's so much like everybody loves a good murder mystery, like a good whodunit, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And what also is one of the few that allows for great ensemble work.
Yes. Yeah. You got like a rogues gallery of suspects.
Yeah.
the idea with this movie was let's do a star-studded cast. It's kind of like old school like that. Let's have it be so like everyone who pops up on screen, you're like, oh, it's that person.
Yeah, let me rattle off the names, okay, for those who may not be familiar. Christopher Plummer, Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, Toni Collette, Don Johnson, who's been doing some great stuff.
The Watchmen.
Yeah.
Frank Oz, even.
Yeah, we got Frank in there.
Awesome.
Christopher Plummer.
The
great Christopher Plummer.
The legend, yeah.
And it's exactly, also you get a chance to, with a cast like that, and Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, I remember when I first saw the original Murder on the Orient Express, and that actually got me reading Agatha Christie. You can high concept characters a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. They're just on the verge of caricature. You can really, and that's the thing with this. It's a fun movie, and the cast, all of these stars, they just showed up ready to play. And they're having a blast.
I love Daniel Craig. And Chris Evans looks to be.
He's playing a jerk. He's playing a real jerk.
And savoring. Everyone seems to say Michael Shannon is super intense, and yet he gets to.
Oh, he's having fun. Daniel Craig. If you just know him from the Bond movies, you would think he's a really serious, intense guy. He is so much fun in real life. He's like a blast, and he's having a ball in this movie.
So what's it like? I would imagine you have scenes where everybody's in it at the same time.
Those are my favorite ones.
What's that got to be like? That where in between takes where these people are just kind of it's got to be fun.
It was a party, man.
Yeah.
And also, we shot in a house in Massachusetts. It's like in a murder mystery mansion, but we were in like a real house, and so everyone liked each other. And in between takes, people wouldn't like go back to their trailers and get on their cell phones. They would all go down in the basement of this house, like around the pool table and hang out.
Exactly what you want.
It was like summer camp for movie stars. It was great. It was really fun. So, and I think you can see on screen how much fun everyone was having.
The conceit is a celebrated writer, 85 years old, I guess.
Plummer,
he's having a birthday. The family's a little disenfranchised. He wants to bring them together, reunite them. And in classic fashion, he ends up dead.
Yep.
And and then you have your but all the tropes that should be there are there. You know.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, it's very traditional. Yeah, exactly. But then it also throws some curveballs at you. And the big thing it does, a lot of times when you see Agatha Christie adaptations, I love them dearly, but they're period pieces.
Yeah.
This is set today. It's modern,
I love that.
and all the characters are modern types, and so it's very much updated for 2019.
And you're inherently you have a good sense of humor, and you see it permeate all your work. And I think a lot of times people forget that the original Agatha Christie stuff and the original Hitchcock always had a sense of humor.
Oh yeah.
I remember there's a scene in Frenzy, the movie Frenzy, where they're sitting having a meal, and the meal is supposed to be analogous to the, and it's just funny, and all that stuff works, and that makes it even more, to see.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, and Poirot, Christie's Detective Poirot. When Peter Ustinov, he's my favorite Poirot.
I think you're right.
Back in the day, and he got the clownishness of him.
I think Albert Finney was a little hard to understand.
I love him. He's going all out, man. But I think Branagh's Poirot is terrific.
Yeah.
But Ustinov and David Suchet is terrific. Ustinov is my favorite though. And there's something funny about they're having fun with these characters.
Oh yeah.
Well, Steve had mentioned a movie the other day that I loved, and I run into very few people who remember it, but was Murder by Death. Do you remember?
Oh God, yeah, of course.
Such a hilarious movie. Now it's a little more slapstick,
Yeah. Neil Simon wrote it. It's like it's more like Clue. It's more like a parody.
Right. And he was a fan. He was a fan of that. So your one of your works, which I love, is Brick, which is everyone always says a Dashiell Hammett sort of vibe to it, with the sharp dialogue and everything. I mean, this is great stuff that doesn't get exercised a lot.
Yeah, it's fun to go back. I don't know. These are genres that I grew up just like loving, And so the idea is to get the essential pleasure of what everyone loves about them, but then, hopefully throw some stuff at you that you haven't seen in them before too. So it feels a little, it feels like you are also on a ride and you're not quite sure what's going to happen next.
And the story written by you?
Yeah.
And so this is a completely original?
Yeah, this is an original whodunit, yeah.
Okay, so do you start at the end and work your way back?
I start way zoomed back. I start just thinking about the shape of the whole thing.
Okay.
But I need to have that. I need to have the whole thing. I couldn't start writing at the beginning and find my way through. I need to have the whole shape in my head before I sit down.
I think you would have to. And there's a certain, the people who have done it the best, I think, approach it that way.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to keep tagging things on,
Yeah, and seeding
and
things in.
MacGuffins and all that.
Well, when you get to the end of a good murder mystery, and you have the scene, one of my favorite types of scenes in all of fiction, where the detective lays the whole thing out, like in the library.
Yes,
which we have a really good one of those. It's like, and with that, you have to have laid the groundwork, because it's only satisfying if you feel like, oh yeah, that thing. Oh yeah, if you recognize each of them and it's paying something off.
Did you have someone fact check and make sure that what you did was legitimate?
You know who was the best at that on set? Chris Evans. He would bust my balls, man. He would come up between every take and like, I was just noticed this, and then every time my heart would clench up, because I was like, oh no, he caught me, and then I realized, oh no, it's because of this, and I would explain to him, say, I got away with it with him.
That's a sign of a good mystery, because
you gotta check out.
Wait a minute, no, you know what I mean?
Out.
Yeah.
I love it, and the critical response has been sensational, and that's got to make you feel good when you invest time in something you love. Not that it's everything, but it's something.
I'll tell you that the bigger thing is, this is like a movie to be seen with an audience, and the audience it's been playing really well. It's been, it gets big laughs, and then people are enjoying it. That to me is what's fun. So I'm psyched to show it tonight.
Allow me to quote the Hollywood Reporter, which says, an ingeniously plotted, tremendously entertaining, and deviously irreverent crowd pleaser.
Well, that's it. Yeah,
that's what you want.
So it is playing tonight at the Philadelphia Film Festival. Do you know if there's any tickets available?
I don't know. I think I just saw a tweet that they had released a few more, so you might want to check their website and see.
Yeah, it's Philadelphia.org.
Opening for Thanksgiving. If you can't get, and that's those they wheel out what they believe to be the heavy hitters. For that, and so obviously, relatively speaking, you're a younger filmmaker.
God bless you, sir.
with the body of work, but. So obviously we're going to talk about the stuff and the Star Wars, universe that you're now in, and now you have your own trilogy that you're responsible for. That has been in this. If I'm not correct, tell me. So I can start weeping. But I think you have this potential, this new universe that you can create from the ground up. That's in the same environment but removed.
Yeah. That's what's really exciting moving forward, because they've said with episode 9 that JJ is doing right now, which I'm so excited for. I cannot wait.
It looks phenomenal.
Oh God, that trailer just knocked me out. So that's going to be, they've said over and over, this is going to be the end of kind of this era of the movies.
And I think it's time. Honestly, I love. And I love even the second trilogy, the Lucas trilogy. Certainly there are issues. Perhaps you've heard some of the buzz about what fans think. I think I commend you for taking on something like that, because you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
I love the fans so much. I am a fan. That's the thing. I grew up as a Star Wars fan, and so all of the passion for it. I was in my 20s when the prequels came out, so both sides of the passion for Star Wars I've been plugged into always, and that's what's great about it.
I commend you for agreeing to do it. Because you're such a fan, you're like, was there ever a thought of like, no, I can't do this?
No, I don't. I mean, it's just something that's so deep. I know everyone is a Star Wars fan who when those first movies came out, if you're like my age, you saw them when you were like 5 and 6. It's so deep in your bones. It's something you love so dearly. And also the people who make these movies, and the producers and everything, and the talent, they're just the best people on the planet, and everyone is just working from such a pure place of love for what this thing is, and so, no, man, I couldn't, that's,
you had to, you had to let that purity guide, at least you could have control over it.
The only thing you can do, exactly. It's just follow kind of, what you want to do.
So I want to ask you about ownership of movies, because people take the Star Wars universe very seriously, and I'm a Star Wars nerd through and through, but people also confuse opinions and facts all the time, and it bothers me, because if you have an opinion on a movie, that's not necessarily a fact about that movie, but people state them as if they are. And I loved Last Jedi. There were so many layers to it that I think people are misunderstood, or they walked out of the theater with an opinion, and it's fine for them to have their opinion too. But what's your take on blowback or criticism or whatever? Does it bother you? Does it stick with you, or how do you interpret it?
Well, like I said, I got to come at it from, again, the perspective of being a Star Wars fan my whole life, and realizing that the passion for it, there are two sides to that. The passion's going to land one way for some, and if you don't like something, that passion's going to apply back the other way, and there's no use there's no, you can't have one without the other, I guess. People feel strongly about this stuff because they care about it so deeply, and people are going to respond to different things. Every fan.
All right, thanks, Kath. You wanted to mention the Dining for the Dogs event coming out.
Yes, thank you, Preston. The Alpha Bravo Canine event. It's the 7th annual Dining Out for the Dogs. It is next Tuesday, July 16th. It is at the 4 White Dog locations, Exton, Wayne, Haverford, and Glen Mills. Now, personalities from the various Beasley stations in our show, and John Kincaid and The Fanatic and Next to You, and I don't think anybody's from Ben, but anyway, we're all going to be out having dinner at these various locations, and we encourage you to do so as well. It benefits ABC, Alpha Bravo Canine, and what they do is they provide service dogs to U.S. veterans who are dealing with debilitating medical and psychological problems as a result of active combat. A great service, and they provide these dogs, and they change everyone's lives who get these dogs. But the big sell, the big thing is that is the night they roll out this flight of hot dogs. $40 gives you these hot dogs. And right now they have the Coney Island hot dog. They have, what else? The Southwestern dog, the white dog. These are all gourmet level. If you're a hot dog fan, you're going to freak out for these. And all the money that you pay for those flights of hot dogs will go to Alpha Bravo Canine. So, again, that's next Tuesday. I'm going to be at the location in Exton. I know, Nick, you're going to be at Wayne.
Love that one.
Yes. Casey, I think you're going to be at Haverford.
Love that one.
And John Kincaid is going to be with me in Exton as well. And it'll be a great evening. So if you want to come out and participate and have a great meal, we'd love for you to make your reservations and help out some people who gave a lot to help us out. So that's all.
The info is real easy to find, PrestonandSteve.com. So you can click on the link if you want to get those locations and times and all that stuff. Take a quick look and be a part of it. Real quick, shout out. I got this. Says, hey, Preston, this is Ann. Longtime listener, first-time writer. I'm one of the people that's been listening since Y100 crew, and now I'm out in California, still hooked on listening to the podcast every day. And a couple of years ago, I got my dad into the show, and now we love it together. He's still in the area, so it gives us a point of connection when we can talk about our favorite show clips, what's going on in the area. Our all-time favorite clip is when Steve's tooth fell out.
Yes.
Our most recent favorite clip is the Hey, Steve, this is your old neighbor Leslie clip. Both have had us in hysterics more times than I can count, and it was his birthday yesterday on the 8th. I was wondering if you could give him a birthday shout-out. His name is Andy Russell, or Russell. He is a great guy and my sister's niece, and I miss him so much being so far away in California. He recently adopted a rescue dog, Bernie, and he says Bernie has changed his life, and it sounds like they had a great birthday together going for a hike, but a shout out from the crew would put the cherry on top. We just wanted to say we love him, we miss him, and best birthday wishes. Thank you for always being there when I'm driving and cleaning and cooking and folding laundry.
That's awesome.
When I need a distraction or just a good laugh, love you guys. And that is from Ann Russell.
I'll throw in another one.
Thank you. And I wanted to mention this as kind of a butt plug from mega listener Mel. She's writing in about this event she has coming up. She's a huge BTS Army fan. She's a member of the BTS Army.
Massive.
The last few years, she said, I would travel around Philadelphia and collect donations from BTS Army members to donate to Camp Out for Hunger. And this year, I decided to make a big BTS club night party to collect donations and raise money this year, which I'll then donate to Camp Out. And I wanted to make you aware of the event. So it's going to be on September 28th, 7 to 11 at the Commodore Barry Arts and Cultural Center, which is on Emlyn Street in Philadelphia. And tickets go on sale Friday, July 11th at noon. So this Friday, they go on sale. So we want to plug anything for Mel because she's such a huge fan of the show.
I put it in my calendar. I'm a good member in standing, so I'm going to try to make it to the event.
Wow. Okay. So we'll make sure we post some information about that if we get a chance. This is for Camp Out for Hunger. So thank you, Mel, and good luck with everything. And then I wanted to give one more plug-a-rooney. This is from Jen Capoli. Says, President, I hope you could give some love to the Circle of Friends restaurant, which opened a few weeks ago in Lake Como, New Jersey, near Belmar, down the shore at 1709 Main Street Circle. Main Street. Circle of Friends is an organization providing support for those with special needs. And my cousin David Capoli, who has Down syndrome and is very active in his community, works there and is so proud. He also has his own sandwich named after him, the Holy Capoli.
I think I want to try one of those.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The location provides job training and support for those with special needs. has a full menu, open 5 days a week. The location was provided by Bar A in Belmar, New Jersey. She said, I'd attach a link to the article, but I don't know how. Anyways, love you guys. Any love you can give is amazing. Circle of Friends is great, and my cousin is super cool. Thanks, Presbo. That's from Jen Capoli. So I wanted to mention that.
I love places like that. There's a cafe that always participates in the Walk a Mile.
Yes, it's a food truck.
Yeah, and it is a same
And a
sort of
cafe,
situation. Yeah. And the stuff is great.
I love that. Absolutely. So happy to share. I don't know, Kath, did you see this? That Target stores,
Ooh.
well, they're not going to take personal checks anymore.
Well, who's still using a personal check at Target?
Not many. Casey's mom.
Really?
I was at the supermarket, and there was someone, God bless her, the self-checkout. How do I pay with a check? You can't.
At self-checkout.
At self-checkout.
At self-checkout.
Yes.
They have made it, Target has made it so easy, especially with their new red card or circle card, I think they call it.
The communist.
So you don't, once you register your account, when you go, this is if you do, no, actually it's self-checkout or if you go to a cashier. Once you scan your Target circle, like, it's an app that you scan, you get different deals and discounts and sales and all that kind of stuff. You don't ever have to have your card. Like it's like Apple Pay, but it's for Target.
Really?
And so they scan it, you get all your deals, all your discounts go in, you get your 5% that you get on all of your orders, and then they say, do you want to pay with this card? And then it's in their system, and that's it.
Okay.
I was at, I guess it's BJ's we go to. They all kind of blend together. Anyway, they have now huge self-checkout.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like huge areas where you're supposed to put all your stuff.
Well, Target pulled back on theirs, so they went back to 10 items or less.
I've actually got a self-checkout story here that I'll follow up this one with. But going back, Target is following other retailers' leads in stopping taking the personal checks. So starting July on 15th, the retailers announced that they no longer accept them for purchases.
What about IOUs?
They cite, yes, those they'll take. They cite extremely low volumes as the reason for the change and have implemented several measures to notify customers ahead of the change to ensure a smooth checkout experience. And Target points out that they offer numerous other checkout methods, including cash, digital wallets, Target Circle cards.
There you go.
Snap EBT, buy now, pay later services, and credit and debit cards as well. Rochelle handles all of the bill paying in our household.
Right, yeah.
So on the rare occasion when I need to fill out a check for something or the other, I feel like a child. I'm like,
how do I do this?
How do I do this again?
How many checks would you say in the last year have you filled out?
2, maybe.
That's about it for me.
Yeah.
Maybe less, maybe 1.
Well, we have to pay our agent with a check. I asked him a few years ago if he would update it and allow for a credit card or Zelle or something along those lines. Nope, still got to write a check.
Yeah,
so that's 4 times a year.
All right, so Claire does that, Nick, in my house.
Yeah,
Mine is usually if I have, somebody come over to, I don't know, maintenance something like our, air conditioning unit, the refrigerator, like whatever it is, and you have to pay right then. I'm like, oh, you don't have like online payment
so
or
many of
anything?
them
No, I'm like, all right, let me get a check.
Wow, because so many of them take, like the credit card can do it immediately. They have the...
I guess these are like, smaller neighborhood, mom
What
and pop
seems
shops.
to be the problem, honey?
What about checks for like birthdays and stuff like that? Because we have come across checks for our children that we have never cashed.
That you never cashed.
Yeah.
You know what? I still write a check as a wedding gift.
Yes.
Okay.
No, a check for a wedding gift, yes. It would be tacky to give a gift card.
Well, and because the cash, there were...
It can get stolen or lost very easily.
Yeah,
Unless it's Goodfellas. Right?
Yeah, stick it right in their little bag she's got there. No, that's interesting, and we have many times have come across. Oh, here's a 4-year-old check.
Yeah,
for $50, and nobody ever really did anything with, which is like, why? You may as well just take your money and crumple it up and just throw it in the trash. Because that's exactly what's happening. So upon onto the self-checkouts, recent polling indicates there's a growing dissatisfaction with self-checkout systems among U.S. shoppers. 43% support their removal altogether. That's a high number, 43%.
So my take on them, I use them quite often. when I'm buying just a small number of things.
Right.
And that's really what they're intended for. A lot of people don't realize. In fact, we got to the self-checkout at BJ's, and we had a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, if this is how much is for, and it said 20, and we were 20 on the dot.
Oh, thank God.
But I mean, and one thing also, Preston, on another note, as we were leaving, and I think this has to do something with the self-checkout with that, since they've instituted it, the person at the door who gives you a receipt the once over and checks your cart, this woman was as thorough as it was like Midnight Express thorough, checking the cart to make sure that everything lined up, which I sort of appreciated, but I assume a lot of theft is happening through that self-checkout.
Yeah, so according to the reason that 43% support the removal, mostly due to concerns over job losses and preference for human-to-human interaction, but retailers like Walmart and Dollar General are responding to the trend, reducing or removing self-checkout machines, citing theft and operational challenges as a problem. Because if you do have an issue with it and you're halfway through a transaction, that's a royal pain in the ass.
You have to wait for a clerk, wait for assistance, and then the thing starts spinning as if you've been arrested.
I read an article a little while back. Sometimes, like CVS's have a self-checkout as well. And let's say you're just getting, a tube of toothpaste. There's one thing you're zipping in and out. This article has stated that you should always get a printed receipt, because you can, they can accuse you essentially of shoplifting if you have no record of. Now, I'm not saying they're doing that maliciously.
Jack them up.
But you could find yourself in trouble when you hadn't done anything wrong at all.
Wait, what do you mean leaving?
Get a receipt.
You have the option to not get a receipt.
I know, but leaving the store, you mean?
Yeah. Hey, freeze.
Meanwhile, I never, especially CVS, I never get the receipt because it's 9 feet long. And for toothpaste, I'm like, nah, I don't need a receipt.
Yeah, it was recommending that they can bust you for that somehow or another. I didn't. I read it a year ago. I don't.
They can make it complex. Well, what you would do is get on the phone with your credit card, and they would if you're paying with a credit card. I guess maybe if you're paying with cash, I don't know how you do that.
Right. Yep. So studies have shown that self-checkouts contribute significantly to theft, which has led to legislative actions in some states to impose stricter regulations. Retailers are also adapting to the pushback against self-checkout by limiting their use and increasing employee training to improve customer service.
I think what they may want to do is, as you're leaving the store, send you through one of those X-ray scans, like at the airport where you hold your arms up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just give you a full
everything
body
in your
scan.
pockets?
You sure?
This text says, I use the self-checkout for when I'm buying fruit. Nobody better touch my effing bananas or apples.
That's really funny because when I get fruit or produce, that's when I tend to try and find an actual clerk.
Me too. Because sometimes I don't have my glasses on and I can't read the sticker number on the produce.
I know that bananas are 4011 and that's it. That's all I know.
Yep.
Well, they've gotten better with that too on the self checkout with the layout and the scanning of and in fact BJ's has the wireless scanners that you take out of it. It's holster and you.
Lowe's is that way too.
Yeah.
So you can pull that thing out. It doesn't even have a cable on it or anything like that.
Right.
Kind of feel like a badass.
Yeah. Apparently, people will also they'll scan something else at a lower price.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're supposed to have a certain weight or count. It's a whole scam. You bastards.
So. But I thought that was interesting with the checks at Target. I mean, very rarely do I ever see anybody with a checkbook out.
Never. Used to see it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
And of course, I would go, oh,
here we go. What's today's day?
Yeah, exactly.
And how do you spell Acme?
I always do it in the wrong order, too. I'm like, wait, does date go first? Just when filling it out, there are, 4 things you have to write?
Nick,
the dollar amount, then write out the dollar amount, the date, and then sign it. That's it. But I do it in the wrong order every damn time.
I actually just write across the check. I would like $11 taken out of my account and given to this store that I am at right now.
Your money.
Thank you very much.
My dad lost his wallet one time, and this was probably 20 years ago, and when Easy Pass was an option, but not the only option. And so he was driving through the turnpike and one of the toll booths, and he didn't have any money, he didn't have any change in the car, and so he had to stop and write a check at the toll booth to get off the turnpike.
For
and it was
$1.30.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh man.
Wow. All right.
So we have been doing a lot of Target online shopping lately, and my daughter's going to college in a month, and this is something that I found pretty interesting. Anybody out there has outgoing or incoming freshmen in their family, and you're going farther away because she's going to school in Michigan. And we're just trying to plan out, like, all right, we have to drive out there for move-in day, blah, blah, blah. This is so brilliant. So my wife is now ordering everything on Target online and having it shipped to the hotel that we're staying at right by the university. And they save it there. They have a little room where they're going to save all.
The hotel does?
Yeah. So we don't have to. We can just ship everything to our hotel. It'll be in some sort of storage area. And then when we go to move in.
So you don't have to pay for a storage area.
We don't have to pay for a storage area. We don't have to bring everything, load the car up.
Right.
That's the other thing is you're basically taking, somebody's entire life. And so that is going to save us so much room, cargo room.
Can you, I think that's cool that the hotel does that, but could you have done that where you, instead of had the hotel take it, you just go to the Target and pick it all up?
That's possible as well, but we're not purchasing everything all at once.
Okay.
It might be a little bit easier if you were to do it that way.
And they will, as you start to add stuff to what you've purchased, they will hold it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize hotels or some hotels provide that service.
Yeah. And hopefully, because I don't know how much stuff we're getting, like her roommate's going to get the microwave. She's going to get the refrigerator, whatever.
It's all Target based.
But they'll put it on, hopefully, one of those bellhop carts and we can just wheel it out to the car.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a great loan. What hotel are you guys in?
Marriott.
There you go.
Nice.
Your bon voy.
Excellent. All right. Well, anyhow, I thought that was a couple of interesting things to pass along. It was a totally unrelated thing.
Totally unrelated thing.
Hi, Presbo.
Is this a thing now?
I guess so. What we need is I do like, and another thing.
Yeah.
And another thing.
All right.
Is it stream of consciousness there?
It probably is.
I mean,
the great thing about our subcategories is that it's all the same.
They're all
thing.
the same.
I know,
so.
but I like knowing which direction we're going.
The stream of Consciousnessner, brought to you by Totally Presbo.
All right. There was an interesting article with The Economist. They did a study to find out about the amount of nudity and sex scenes in movies and why it has dropped by almost 40% since 2000. And new research suggests that a lot of people are happy about that.
Happy about the reduction of sex scenes in movies.
I've actually, movies, some movies and some TV shows. I've noticed the TV shows, like a lot of shows that were, had graphic scenes, are not doing it anymore.
I was watching a movie last night called Bangin' Bitches. Nothing but sex. I'm like, what if I'm watching this with family?
Yeah.
Preston, are you watching House of Dragon?
Not yet.
Okay, all right. Episode 2 or 3. They go, they'll feature like whorehouses and, places where sin happens. And there is just flat out fellatio happening in one of the scenes. And it's graphic.
You see it?
Steve, I don't know how they got away with it or they just don't care.
Is it with the dragon?
It's not with the dragon. No, it's with the dude who is hung like a dragon. And this prostitute, whore, whatever, is going down on him. And you see him and you see her and you see her mouth. And
well, that has got to be.
Yeah.
So what? There was one Hallmark, and it wasn't a Hallmark movie, a Hallmark moment.
What is this doing on Hallmark
The
Channel?
best Christmas ever.
Yeah.
Well, you're under the mistletoe. Time for a Hummer. We talked about it. It wasn't Bridgerton, but it was a cable show. It was like House of the Dragon. Yeah. This was within the past 6 months.
Are you talking about with Tom Pelphrey where he had the full-on booner?
That's it.
Yeah.
And yes. So what show was that again?
Whatever Tom Pelphrey's
the Tom Pelphrey experience.
No, because it was him, and there's another gentleman in the scene that's also a famous actor.
Yep.
Okay, so this is another level, Nick. If they're showing full on fellatio in a.
I mean, it's Game of Thrones had some pretty graphic sex scenes over the years, but this was just flat out like this prostitute was doing that to a guy.
I've never seen anything remotely like that.
On HBO.
I mean, Small Wonder maybe.
Right.
Yeah. Vicky, what are you doing?
Oh my God, Vicky.
It's okay. I'm a robot.
Yeah, she's programmed.
I'm a robot.
It's fine.
I can do this.
Was it called
It's just like screwing your Roomba.
Was it Love and Death, Casey, the Tom Pelfrey show?
That's it. I think that was it, Nick.
Okay.
So, according to a new survey of 2,000 Americans, 33% have turned off a movie during a sex scene. But that number is higher for Gen Z. 43% of them admit to doing it more than any other generation.
Wait, turning it off?
Yeah, because there's a sex scene, and it's showing that that generation Gen Z is a little more likely to stop. Millennials are the generation least likely to stop watching a movie because of a sex scene. Only 26% of them have.
Maybe it's a Man in Full.
What?
The Tom Pelfrey movie.
Is it the name of the series?
Yeah.
Engorged Man?
A Man in Full.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Full boner.
Mm-hmm.
So more than a quarter, 27% of respondents think sex scenes and nudity have no place in movies and TV shows. Nearly half believe that sex scenes are always or mostly unnecessary and don't add to the story or make it more enjoyable.
I
Do you
agree
know
with that.
You know who subscribes to that? Henry Cavill.
Yeah?
Henry Cavill, I should say. He is not a fan of doing sex scenes in movies. And there are some actors who really don't and ask them to be removed from scripts and have the power to do so. But, yeah, a lot of times, I mean, they do nothing for me, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree.
There are some good, there are some, like in rom-coms, when the eventual... When love is requited, then yes, that to me has more impact than just people hitting the sheets in a movie.
Right. Yeah, it can forward the storyline if something happens during that sex scene. Or hang on a second, I want to go to this call. This sounds interesting. I'm going to go to Chris. Hi, Chris. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Just calling you back. How you guys doing?
Good. What's up, man?
Hey, so Nick, I couldn't believe it. Episode 2 on Dragons, House of Dragons.
Yeah.
So when they're in a brothel, whatever.
Brothel, right?
When don't focus on the main characters. The bottom left corner is where the fellatio is happening, and me and my wife are like, "What the hell?" Like seriously, it was like I don't know if it was like fake or whatever, but I think it was real.
Chris, there was no way I was going to be able to concentrate on the main characters because that completely distracted me. And she's on her knees, and the gentleman is standing.
I swear to God, this thing's like 15 inches long. And
what?
Chris, so you're right though.
They're like, what the hell is this?
I've never. I mean, and they've pushed the boundaries, but this has to be the first time full on.
I never watched porn with my wife, and I'm like, this is the first time, I guess. It's like, I love you guys.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, man.
Nick, what is the streaming platform that it's on?
It's HBO.
It's Max, right?
Yeah, HBO Max. Yeah, it's Game of Thrones, House of Dragon. It's the follow-up
House of
series.
Boners.
House of Boners.
Well, I just wonder if it's different now. You know what I mean?
It's
Since they're
boner
all-
jams.
Well, since they're all subscriptions, you have to
Boner
pay for them.
Yeah, but even so, I mean, you're still talking about it's under the umbrella of a non-porn. I mean,
Sure.
there's a lot of sex in Game of Thrones, but it's serious and well-trained actors and
regal boners.
Yeah, regal boners.
There was not a lot in season 1 of House of Dragon. There was definitely a lot in Game of Thrones, Preston. But and I remember before this episode, I guess it was episode 2. There, the warning comes up: strong sexual content. I was still not expecting that to happen.
So, Kathy, do you subscribe to any of the? Do you get like HBO or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on and off with all of them.
So if you get HBO on your cable package, then you automatically get a subscription to Max.
Well, I don't have cable.
Oh, okay.
I just do the apps.
All right. So back to the survey of sex scenes in movies. Fewer than 1 in 10 think sex scenes always enhance the story or viewing experience. Women are almost twice as likely to turn off a movie during a sex scene than men. It's 42% versus 23%.
Is there a scene that comes to mind if you were to think about an actual movie, a sexy movie scene or a seduction that comes to mind?
Oh, it just comes to mind in general?
In general.
I mean, well, it's Kelly McGillis's birthday. There's a scene of her and Tom having sex in that.
Right.
Which, I mean, there's classic ones.
What about Bridesmaids with the sandwich?
Oh, my God, that's the best at the end.
You're a bear.
But there have been ones in general cinema over the years that have pushed the boundaries, like Last Tango in Paris.
Yes.
Postman Always Rings Twice.
Right.
Or I think Monster Ball.
You know what I didn't like? There was one, because when you're trying to watch something with your children and then something comes up and there's no warning, and I think in the show the movie Bird Box,
is there a sex scene?
There are these people, they're holed up in the house, and then all of a sudden you open up a door and these two people are back. I'm like, I'm trying to watch this with my kids, and
he's birding her box.
Well, they have the... At the beginning, they have the little warnings, and you can take a look if there's nudity or whatever.
Yeah, I guess.
But I guess nudity more acceptable than
boom, 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 boom,
bang,
boom,
bang,
boom.
bang.
Yeah. And without warning. You know
ever
what I
see
Graphic Yahtzee.
Original Sin with Antonio Banderas and Angelina Jolie?
No.
That substituted for porn when there was a stretch where I didn't have any. And they Antonio Banderas and Angelina Jolie have graphic sex.
What was that movie with Ashton Kutcher and
Anne Heche?
Anne Heche.
Yeah. I didn't see that scene, but you told me you're like, they had to have been doing it.
They had to have been. I mean, this is not... the movie would not have had a CGI budget. I mean, there's no way you could have been in... the proximity is just too close. I swear.
I swear. Yeah, now I'm trying to think of ones, Nick, that kind of replaced porn if you didn't have any porn.
Basic Instinct was a go-to for a stretch.
Yeah, that was Michael Douglas and Glenn Close, but yeah.
No, not Glenn Close.
Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone. Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct. I'm thinking of Fatal Attraction.
Yeah.
But that one got pretty intense too.
It sure did. Yeah.
Sink when they're turning water on and all that. I'll tell you a pretty wild sex scene, and I didn't even watch the show. Was in Weeds.
Oh, it was a meme for a while.
What is her name?
Mary Louise
Parker. And they're like shoving each other in the face and stuff. And that was a pretty awesome sex scene. And it didn't get super graphic with nudity or anything like that. But
I like the dance, the rom-com sort of leading up to it, and
And by the way, so yeah, it is decreased quite a bit since 2000 by almost 40%. Sex scenes have.
They say what people are really craving are graphic defecation scenes.
No.
Yeah.
Could we see more of those, please?
Please.
White Lotus.
Yes,
there's definitely
into the suitcase.
So do you think that he actually did that, or was that CGI?
I don't. You could. Not, it would be case. Could you imagine asking an actor to take a full-on dump into a suitcase?
Yeah. You think he actually took a dump?
Dude, I don't know, man.
All right, we got one shot at this, and then we're going to try again tomorrow if we don't get it. I think budget-wise, I don't think they're going to be able to pull that off.
That same actor that appears in one of the most beautiful episodes of The Last of Us.
Yes, ever of television. So
what range?
What did you do in your last one? Well, I took a crap into a suitcase. Did you actually take a crap? Yeah, I think you're our man.
Yes, I did. I absolutely did.
In the second season of White Lotus, there's some pretty blatant gay sex that happens between the uncle and the nephew.
Well, in the first season too.
Well, no, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, in the that dude's office. Yeah. But you remember the scene in the second season where they're at the Italian villa and you hear some grunting from another room?
Somebody texted in and said Pulp Fiction. When
that's graphic.
Marcellus Wallace. Yes, it is graphic.
It sure is. And there's a lot of romance.
Hang on a second. Let me go to Bob. Hey, Bob. Good morning, bud.
Hey, good morning, bud.
Hey, what's up, man?
Has anyone seen Poor Things with Emma Stone?
And Preston, you saw it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, didn't you see? You said you saw it.
There was a lot of sex in it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot, Bob. Yes.
It makes the movie. It makes the movie. You were talking about sex not needed in a movie. I think it makes the movie.
Well, it's a big part of that movie.
Like
she discovers it.
It's not.
Dude, Bob,
right?
have you ever seen so much sex in one movie in your life?
Never.
I mean, it's
really.
It's maybe like a third of the way in. It starts, and it's just like she is just going nuts
constantly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell everyone, no one sees it. No one trusts me. I say everyone should see it.
Let them know it's an Oscar-nominated movie. It won a few Oscars.
It's a weird movie, though, Bob. Right?
Emma Stone won the Oscar for Best Actress.
Yeah, it's a weird movie, but it's definitely.
It's very weird.
Worth seeing. All right.
I've heard a number of people.
Hey.
I appreciate it, bud. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Well, all right. So, but by the numbers. Yeah, the sex is decreasing in movies. It may not seem that way. But
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
All right. I've been given a wrap-up signal, so we have to, we got to take a break. Sorry about that. We're going to wrap up
Stream
these.
of Consciousness-ner.
Presbos.
Brought to you by Totally Presbo.
All right. You got both of them. All right, we're going to take a quick break and come back in just a moment. Forget not, my friend, that it's a short work week this week, so our Letter of the Day, Word of the Week prize, letter number 1 starts today, and we only have 4, and we give it away on Friday, so I don't want you to miss out on it. If you weren't with us yesterday, you're still good, all right? We'll be back in a moment.
Slightly different from a Star Wars movie. There's nothing that's going to.
And that's the general. I was in the theater on opening night for the original Star Wars because I'm an old bastard, and I'd read the paperback book that was that before the movie came out that had scenes that were not even shot for the movie. Sure. It's from Lucas's screenplay, and the movie was always intended to be a fun homage to the movie serials.
Yeah, it's Buck Rogers,
and that's it.
Yeah, man.
And it was supposed to be loving and fun.
Yeah.
But then as its own myth almost started to weigh it down, and people lost sight of just go have a good time.
Well, also, but the thing is, though, I feel like there is always an element because it was that, but then with Empire, it dug a little bit deeper into the mythic stuff,
and that's one of the
that was a fish hook that got us all. Empire really shook it up from A New Hope in every single way. I mean, not just the big "I am your father" twist, but tonally, and also in terms of how deep it went, in terms of digging into that kind of deeper mythological stuff, the psychological stuff. So
and a classic second act.
Yeah. Oh my God,
it doesn't
100%.
end happy,
and does and really turns everything up onto its head, and then in a way that can be really satisfyingly resolved in the third one. You see where I'm going with this?
Yes. Well, you did some things in this movie that that we hadn't seen in any of the previous 8, or I'm sorry, 7 movies, I should say. And one of them was using light speed as a weapon.
Well, although the first, I mean, in A New Hope, the first time they talk about light speed, what's the context they're talking about? And they're talking about you got to do your calculations right, or you'll run into something, and then it'll be a big mess.
But the blowback on that, and the fans were like,
but I never quite understood that because the thing is, that was the context that it was introduced in. So it's not like it physically can't happen. So the only argument I've really heard is we don't want to think about the fact that it can happen because that complicates how we have to think about war in this world.
You would have to make calculations, and you had like shields and things exactly for that. But I mean, it's your toy. You run with it. It's like because no. So the 8-foot talking carpet, that's real. Relax.
I mean, it has to make sense within the context of the world.
And you're right.
But I feel like that I can stand behind.
No, it was a mother effer of a scene.
Yeah, that scene. Come on.
And the effects and all. It was great.
Speaking of fans, real quick, and I know you guys all have questions. Everybody's got their hands raised here. But now, I haven't gone back and watched The Last Jedi in a little while. But is that I think fans had a bunch of fun with the fight scene where Kylo and Rey, you know what I'm talking about? They used the different pieces of music. Did you happen to see those?
Yeah, that was really fun. Everyone started remixing it to different songs.
Our own Nick Murphy, who I introduced you to, he did a whole.
He did like a dozen of them.
He did a whole album, some funny ones and some other ones that tonally absolutely made sense.
I love it.
I think he might have even used Firework from Katy Perry.
That's great. That's great.
I totally see that. Yeah, that's a blast, man.
You gotta love that fans are having.
Well, that's what I mean. They take it and they make it their own, whether it's that or fan fiction or fan art or people just take this stuff so personally. That's what's great about it.
In A New Hope, Luke meets Leia via a hologram, and in The Last Jedi, Luke says goodbye to Leia via a hologram. Was that your idea?
Yeah, man. The symmetry. You're always looking for symmetry. Wow. If you can hit that sweet spot with symmetry, so that even if you don't, the first time you watch a movie, you aren't thinking of it in those terms. When you step back and take a look at the whole thing laid out, you're like, oh, this rhymes with this, and it bookends this. Especially with something like Star Wars, you're always searching for those things to lay in there.
Thank you for answering questions about it, because I know you're here to talk about Knives Out, and I can't wait to see that movie as well. But while we have a director of one of the Star Wars movies in the studio,
about Star Wars.
We lavish love on Knives Out as well. But I also have to ask you, Looper is an amazing film, and it also speaks to your ability to add. I remember watching that and go, wow, this is a really cool conceit. I'm thinking of has a Harlan Ellison, Philip K. Dick sort of vibe. vibe to it. It's cool. It's jumping around. And then it gets you emotionally too, and you know when you're, and that's something that I think when you can do that in all this stuff where you know you can go down one path and phone it in, and then it becomes something where it gets you viscerally with the kid and what his future will be and how things have to be right. That to me was just such an amazing. And I don't want to give it away if you've never seen it. You need to see Looper if you've never seen it. But working with Bruce Willis and working with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who you worked with in Brick as well, you know, you start to build an ensemble of people you go to, you know, and there are people that are comfortable. Who do you consider your go-to, people now?
Well, I haven't worked with him for a few movies, but Joe Gordon-Levitt is one of my good friends.
Awesome,
and he's so good, man.
Yeah.
He's such a good person. He's such a lovely, wonderful guy. And I managed even this Last Jedi. He wasn't. We got him in there as a voice, alien voice.
Okay, I was
Knives
wondering.
Out. We had to get him in there as a voice too.
Oh, that's
because he
great.
wasn't available. So you keep your ears peeled. He's in there. So
You guys are friends.
Yeah, we're buddies.
Okay, because he's in a scene of a movie. It's one of my favorite theatrical scenes ever, and it's a movie called 500 Days of Summer.
Oh yeah,
and it's when the Hall & Oates song comes on. To me, and there's a Han Solo thing in it as well. But I would love to meet that guy. He is a good friend
He's
of
a
yours.
sweetheart, man. He is so cool.
Will you tell him that I love him?
Let's call him right now. Let's get him on speaker.
Whenever I hear that song, I bounce around like he does when he's walking down the street. Like I want to do what he did in that movie.
We made the very first movie I made was called Brick. It was like a weird high school noir, and
I've heard that
he was in it
twice today. I haven't seen it.
Oh wow!
Did you shoot that at the high school you went to?
I did. Yeah. I shot at San Clemente High School down in Orange County.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's got to be cool to come back with a film crew to the school that you.
It was cool, but we were really low budget. We were like micro budget with that movie.
Still.
So I think we were more annoying to them. I'm surprised that they didn't kick us out before we were done filming.
Well, Knives Out, honestly, is I cannot wait to see it. It looks phenomenal, and so I assume, have you done the full premiere route yet, or is it where this is one cog in the premiere?
Well, Philly is not a cog.
I know.
This is the main engine of the whole tour.
Thank you for saying that.
We premiered at Toronto, and I just came from the Chicago Film Festival, and we're here tonight, and I'm psyched to see it with every. Like I said, man, this is a crowd movie. This is a crowd-pleasing movie. It's so much fun to be in the theater when a big crowd is watching this.
Love
I'm
it.
psyched
Love
for
it.
Can I
tonight,
ask what the title refers to, or is it a plot point that we need to wait for?
No,
or?
it's. I mean, sort of. There are knives in it, but it's. I mean, the Radiohead song is what I kind of stuck it in my head years ago. Amnesiac, I think it's on, and Knives Out.
Okay.
And so that phrase seemed like a cool phrase to me. It seemed like a good murder.
Well, to me, it always indicates.
And the knives are out.
Your
for you.
knives are out. Your knives are. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody's got it. Yeah.
Which definitely applies to the family in this movie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can I jump in real quick? I just want to ask you, because I know that you do have your fingerprint on the Breaking Bad universe, and you directed a couple of episodes of the final season.
Yeah.
I watched El Camino, and then I was like, oh, God, I got to go back and watch the final 2 seasons. So I did that, and then I watched El Camino again. So you directed Ozymandias, and I got to ask, is that the episode where Walt calls Skylar and has the phone conversation with her?
Yeah.
That is like some of the finest acting I've ever witnessed in my entire life, because he is saying things to her
without saying them.
But he's also on like, so what you're hearing through the phone is what he's saying, but emotionally he's not saying those words. And so can you explain that better than what I just said?
No, you put it just beautifully, man.
Okay.
And Cranston, I mean, that's the explanation. It's one word. It's Cranston. That dude is just
Cranston.
So you didn't have anything to do with that?
No, man. No, honestly, you show up and you do your work as a director, which is on set to be an audience for the actor, and so you watch it. If you feel something, you say it to them. If you feel, try this, try that. The truth is, though, especially at Breaking Bad, I mean, the writing is so good. Those actors. As a director, it makes your job so easy. You get to show up on set and just roll with it and try and maximize it.
Real quick, how many takes for that particular scene?
I don't know. I think it was freezing that night. So I don't think many. I think it was maybe 3 or 4. And then Anna Gunn, Skylar's side of the call. It's interesting because I remember Yoda, with Mark and Frank Oz, Mark Hamill and Frank Oz.
Yeah.
Frank telling me, everyone talks about the expressiveness of the puppet and the performance of Yoda, and he said 90% of it is Mark believing, listening.
Yeah, and I can believe that. Yeah,
and it's a weird analogy, but what Anna is doing on the other side, the amount of that call where we're on her face and hearing her realize what her husband is doing, that's as much of the scene as
Okay, and for that, was she in the next room? Was she actually on the phone with him while he was doing it, or were you doing a playback? Or?
No, we had him there, so he was. Obviously, we shot them completely separately, but then we have both, and vice versa. She was on set, kind of on the phone with him there, for his side of it, and then we were in the house shooting. It was a totally different day, but he was there for her side of it, so they were both there for each other.
Okay,
that's wild. And by the way, you should probably put some ointment on those fanboy burns you just got.
Yeah. Those could get infected.
That's all right. I'm scabbed over. It's all right. I got the scabs.
All right. Thank you very much, Ryan Johnson. Everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Now, let's do the B5.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, so let's start with this. Smashing Pumpkins are going to kick off their Bright and Oh So Shiny reunion tour in July, and the band's Billy Corgan has now shared a proposed list of songs.
Are you doing
music news?
Son of a bitch.
That's amazing.
I was thinking,
I thought it was maybe
weird happen at the music news, or
grabbed the wrong folder.
Maybe he found a king cobra in his car or something, or.
Look, I'm just on autopilot right now.
That's exactly what it is, right?
You're at home right now watching The Walking Dead, aren't you?
I am. I haven't seen that episode yet, damn it. Oh, man.
That was great. Thank you. Hey, just sneak preview, guys.
I love the music, though. That wouldn't be a tip-off.
It didn't even register with me at all. A man dubbed America's most wanted deadbeat dad.
Let's just call him Billy Corgan.
Has been arrested.
There were a number of missed calls in my life that actually led to opportunities, and you always have to keep your radar open to the fact that there are things in play that you haven't even seen yet that will reveal themselves to you. You just have to be receptive to it.
It all starts with this girl giving me the clap.
The clap.
That's where it started.
You were saved by a social disease.
It all starts with that.
All right, so tell.
This girl gave me the clap. I dated her for 5 years. She was my girlfriend. She slept with my best friend, and then she gave me the clap. I remember going to the doctor, and he was like, "Yo, she's a hoe." By the way, this is
Is that a medical term?
No, this is. He used the more formal RE. I don't know if you can say it on WHORE. I don't know if you can say that on
whore.
Yeah. Oh, if you want, like an idiot, I just spelled it.
Yeah.
Like you can't spell it. So he was like, "Your girlfriend's a whore," and I was like, "What?" By the way, this is when you thought doctors were like older. He's probably just 27 years old.
Yeah.
Like he's just a kid,
dude.
And he was like, she's a whore, man. And he said, I go, no, you got that wrong. He goes, let me ask you a question. When you go to a bar, do you and your junk split up to cover more territory? And I was like, excuse me? And he goes, do you? And I said, no. And he goes, then I'm telling you right now, if you're telling me you haven't slept with anyone else, just her, she gave it to you. She's a whore. She's sleeping around. That's how you get it. You just sleep around.
Yeah.
Oh
And I was like, that's impossible. I want the test. And he was like, I can just give you the medicine. You don't need the test. And I went, no, I don't. I must not have it. She's not a whore. And he's like, all right, I'll give you the test. Q-tip.
Yep.
Oh.
Yes.
I remember saying, brace yourself. And I held on to the thing, and he did it. And I was like, she's a whore. She's a whore. And then I went to her, and I confronted her. And I said, yo, I have the clap. You gave it to me. And she's like, no, that's impossible. And then I said what the doctor said. Let me tell you something. When I go to the bar, me and my junk don't split up to cover more territory, okay? And but if that girl hadn't done that, because I told that girl I wanted to be a comedian. I laid in bed the morning of the Miami-Florida State game, and I said, I think I want to be a comedian. Because right after Russia, I'd gone to Europe, and I backpacked, and I ran into a group called The State. I ran into them in Greece. Yeah. We all partied in Greece. And I met them, and I said, how do I get into comedy? And David Wayne said, just write all the time, write down jokes. Anything funny, write it down. And that whole summer, I said, I was funny traveling. Everyone liked me. I could make people laugh. And I was like, I'm going to be a comedian. Came home. First week back, have sex with her, laying in bed, Florida State, Miami game. I say, I think I want to be a comedian. And she was an actress, still is. And she was like,
not somebody we would know, is it?
No.
Okay. Regional theater, stuff like that? Yeah.
And so
that's what we're calling porn these days.
And she goes, oh, honey, you're stupid funny. You're not smart funny. To be a comedian, you have to be smart funny, and you're stupid funny.
Wow.
So you
And
cannot
this is from the whore.
This is from the whore.
Oh.
And so I was like, oh, okay. Never tell anyone your dreams. I get the clap. I then break up with her over the period of you know how those breakups go over 6 months. Yeah. And then I start dating this girl who's, by the way, I love her, but just an oblivious idiot. Yeah. Like I told her I want to be a comedian. She's like, you should do it. Invest everything in it. Why wouldn't you? Right? Oh my God. And I just ran into her last week in wherever I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and she's like, I'm so happy you followed your dreams. And I was like, I am so glad you did not see the pitfalls in life that everyone else sees. Yeah. Like, she was just like, do it. Why wouldn't you? I didn't want to be a shot girl. And I was like,
dream big.
Oh, she went to New York to be a model. And, she's attractive, but she's not like a model.
Yeah.
But I remember
not a New York model.
And she just walked in and she's like, I want to be a model. And I was like, man, I wish everyone had more of that.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for that girl to just give me blind confidence.
Yeah.
That I don't think. I mean, by the way, my first whole year of stand-up, I did not.
Just got done talking about movies, but I did. No. I did want to mention this that. Excuse me. Anchorman turns 20 years old today.
20 years old today.
Yeah, that's hard to believe. It's 20 years old. It doesn't feel like it's that old, but
feels like it's really never out of my life because I spend so much time watching Anchorman outtakes and Anchorman 2 outtakes.
Yeah.
I just they're just terrific.
I need to go. I need to spend some time with those. With the outtakes.
There's one in particular, Nick. You know what I'm going to talk from Anchorman 2, where he's there.
Rivers of
he's and Will Ferrell saying he's blind, and everyone's sitting on the couch. He goes, feel my leg. And he sticks out. Doesn't that feel like a C? Oh. And Paul Rudd just starts laughing. Goes, no, it feels like your leg.
I think the outtakes of Anchorman 2 to me are funnier than the actual movie. And Anchorman 2 is a funny movie. It's kind of underrated. But the first one was so brilliant that it was hard to live up to it. It also makes me kind of sad because Adam McKay and Will Ferrell had a bit of a divorce. You know, they don't really work together anymore.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about that first movie, Nick, and this has happened to me and movies that have become my absolute favorites. Everybody was saying how funny Anchorman was. The first time I watched it, I thought it was stupid.
Did you see it in the theater?
I did not.
I saw it in the theater, and I walked out like, okay. And then on the second, much funnier. Third, I'm like, oh my God,
I'm in.
I have to love this movie.
Same thing. For whatever reason, I guess the jokes were coming at a pace.
Yeah.
And I didn't really, it was like one after another, and I just wasn't in on it. And the characters were so goofy and over the top that I thought it was trying too hard.
Once you know the tone is that it's actually an absurdist look at that. And once you get that, it makes it much easier. But I mean, it is so jammed full of, so much of that is Adam McKay. Will Ferrell obviously can pull off. That's what he does.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's ever going to happen now at this point, Nick. We love Adam McKay to death, but I think I don't know if that's something, we're talking about having an evening with Adam McKay and Step Brothers and or Anchorman. And your take on it, I don't know.
Well, first of all, Adam's health isn't great. He has this tremor that makes it really difficult for him to speak publicly. And so, first and foremost, we want to make sure that the dude's okay because he is a really nice guy.
He's just terrific.
And also his tone in directing has changed over the years too. I mean, the Anchorman and all of those types of movies were just straight ahead comedies. And then he started doing things like The Big Short and Don't Look Up. And, and then when he did the Lakers show on HBO, that was essentially what led to the divorce between him and Will Ferrell because John C. Reilly ended up getting a part that Will really wanted to do, and Adam didn't go to bat for Will, and I think Adam has owned it a little bit.
He very much has, and he regrets all of that, and he's trying to reach out, and I think eventually, I would like to hope,
So I have a couple of interesting facts about Anchorman.
Fun facts?
They are fun facts. So here's a fun fact. Apparently, it's Will Ferrell's favorite movie. of the movies that he's done.
Anchorman.
He said the movie stands out as the favorite, and it's a hard choice, but it's Anchorman because of the journey that it took, and it's kind of the Cinderella story of the movie that nobody wanted to make.
Really?
It was still, it was made when he was still on Saturday Night Live, then moved through many different iterations before it finally made its way to the big screen, and it required a lot of people to take a chance on Will. And also, that was McKay's first film, first
McKay
directing.
was writing for SNL.
Excuse me, yes. So
that's where they met.
Appetite, looking forward to a little afternoon delight. Rubbing sticks and stones together, making sparks ignite. And the thought of loving you is getting so exciting. Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
It's just so
that
many.
just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was the best. So this is an interesting fun fact for you, Steve. In the finished form of Anchorman, it has very. It was actually the part of the script was based on the movie Alive, which was about the Uruguayan flight that crashed in the Andes, and they ended up having to cannibalize the dead bodies.
Right.
An early version of the script was heavily inspired by that story.
None of that ends up in the version we saw, correct?
No.
Yeah.
So this is one of the original takes on that. So Will Ferrell said in an interview, Ron convinces the pilot that he knows how to fly the jet and immediately crash lands in the mountains. And it's just the story of them surviving and trying to get off of the mountainside. So that's apparently like they were going to focus the whole movie on that.
I can't say I wouldn't be interested in seeing how that came out.
Listen to this. The story also involved orangutans with Chinese throwing stars.
Stop it.
He said in Will Ferrell's own admission, he said it was a little too kooky. And the subsequent version was definitely better, he said. So they were happy it came out
they've gone for broke. Remember the movie, and I'm forgetting the title of it, but Will Ferrell did it. It was basically it was all in Spanish. He's speaking Spanish. And it is basically like a gunslinger movie. It's very funny, like Diablo or something like that. It's very funny, and it's off the charts weird, but this is the kind of stuff. Nick,
I know which one you're talking about, but
we had him on the show to promote it.
Yeah. Who did we have on?
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
To promote that?
And it was not a lot of people remember it, but I mean, they've done a ton of really weird stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, when they were doing stuff with the, was it College Humor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
or Funny or Die.
There are definitely tons of great comedy guests in Anchorman, but there were a lot of near misses. Ben Stiller eventually showed up during the fight scene in a brief cameo, but he was originally in the frame to play Paul Rudd's role as Brian Fantana. The project coincided with Stiller's rise to comedy leading man fame, so he was slightly too big to play a supporting role at that stage.
Right.
And so he went for
And Rudd is perfect.
Obviously just a cameo. John C. Reilly was another one who missed out. He was in line to play Champ Kind, which ultimately made an impression on Ferrell that the star wrote him a role in Talladega Nights.
Yes,
and that's where they started their work together.
Yep.
Other big names that were on the list who almost joined the cast were Ed Harris, Alec Baldwin, Dan Aykroyd, and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Who is Ed Harris going to play?
That's a good question. Maybe he was going to be the
John Stamos.
Maybe he was going to be the station manager who was
possibly Fred
Willard. Yeah. So that could have been interesting. Here's another little bit of information. The iconic fight scene between the various news teams almost got scrapped. According to Saul Ostritz's book, Kind of a Big Deal, How Anchorman Stayed Classy and Became the Most Iconic Comedy, it nearly got cut before the cameras even rolled. The scene was deemed too unwieldy. But they were.
I mean, it's completely
oh my God.
Insane.
Yeah.
That they meet in this alleyway and all of the different, from public television to
Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
With the yes.
No commercials. No mercy.
Yes. And Ben Stiller as the Spanish news anchor. I love it. That scene is so great. Marissa?
Ridiculous.
I went to see that movie with a bunch of friends, and my friend next to me whispered, and she's like, "I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I'll be right back." And it was right before that moment. Came back right as it ended, and leaned over and was like, "What did I miss?" I was like, "I don't even know how to describe it." There's just we got to go see this again.
Mm-hmm. I loved it. So in that scene, here's another little fun fact for you, Steve, that the actors got to choose their own weapons.
I love that there is everything from a mace to a hand grenade,
a trident. According,
Rick killed a guy.
The ensemble of stars appeared in the fight scene, got the chance to stamp in their own impact by choosing their weapons. Prop master Scott McGinnis laid out an array of weaponry, both sensible and absurd, for the cast to select. So the first assistant director said the actors came and they said, "I'll take that one, and I'd like that one. I'd like that to go into battle." There's no doubt that including the actors in the process made the scene even more chaotic and unpredictable.
So as absurd as that is, the latter scene where Baxter jumps into the to the bear enclosure,
oh my God,
and has the conversation with the other bear.
I love it.
Yeah.
I like when Jack Black kicked him off the bridge.
Right. Yeah, that just happened.
Yeah, that's how I roll. So there's apparently a Mad Men Easter egg in the movie, too. Anchorman arrived in cinemas a few years before Mad Men first aired, but the most famous star of that show made a brief cameo. I did not know this.
John Hamm?
Yeah, and the credits for Ron Burgundy's news broadcast. John Hamm and Adam Scott are listed as writers. Okay, so they made an appearance that way. In that case, both actors were friends, and producer Shauna Robertson, who managed to get their names in the movie before their rise to fame. So you can see them quickly, apparently. It says in this fun fact, you should avoid the Mexican restaurant. It says during one scene, Veronica visits a Mexican restaurant while planning to sabotage Ron Burgundy's out cue. The restaurant is called Escupimos en su Alimento. And for viewers who know Spanish, they were able to notice that means we spit in his food.
Oh, my
God. Wow. I haven't read through all of these because there's a good list.
Christina Applegate is so good in that, and so good in the second one. You've seen the second, have you not?
I never saw the second
one. Oh, okay.
I know.
There are really great... He goes, Ron goes blind, and she's since moved on. She's with kind of like an est therapist played by Greg Kinnear, but she comes back into his life, and he's living in this bizarre lighthouse, and but she's just terrific.
Wow. So here's one of the improv jokes. It was a hot day, and Will Ferrell was handed a carton of milk by the props department. So he lifted the carton and poured it through his beard, exclaiming, "It's so damn hot, milk was a bad choice." But rather than trying to come up with a funny line, he was trying to work his way out of the situation because they just handed it to him.
Oh.
And of course, he did it great, and it ended up being one of the iconic lines. Yeah.
A lot of times when they call it the free line, takes where you'll hear Adam McKay, like it happens in the second one where Paul Rudd is talking about, goes in there. We come back with an expose about, breast implants. And so, Will Ferrell says, I understand that that for cheaper versions, they'll fill them up with taco meat. and then you hear like Will Ferrell, Adam McKay yelling coins, nickels, and they just keep doing the line over and over and over again. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
I love stuff like that.
I want to go to Mike. Hey, Mike, good morning.
Baxter, bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
What's up, bud?
So when they made the very first Anchorman, they also made a second one that ran in the same exact timeline as that, and it's called Wake Up, Ron Burgundy. And it focuses on a whole subplot where there's this a terrorist group. They're called the Alarm Clock, and it is absolutely hysterical. Not quite as funny as the one that got released, but you can definitely find it on the Blu-ray version, and I believe Amazon has it right now for rent too.
So, Mike, when they did the second one, they actually released, and we had Adam McKay on to talk about it. They released a second version of the second movie theatrically that was all alternate takes. Did you see that?
Not the No, I didn't see that one, but I'm referring to the first movie.
Right. I didn't know this existed. I'll have to check it out.
Oh my God. It is, you get a glimpse into how brick became brick. Like, there's a scene when they're in the woods of, like, I'm not going to give anything away, but they're hunting, and Ron Burgundy's like, the captain's back, referring to brick, and I guess when they were all in Nam or whatever. But you get a sense, it's absolutely hysterical, not quite as funny as the one that got the main.
Yeah, the main one. I'll have to look for it.
And really funny moments.
And you say it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
All right, I'll look
It's on
for it.
Amazon.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, bud. See you later.
Yep, you got it, guys.
I remember we had Paul Rudd on, and before Paul Rudd became
Paul Rudd,
with the juggernaut that he is, and we had asked him about Anchorman, and I'd asked him, and I've forgotten the names. From where he says he calls his penis the octagon.
Kenneth Noisewater is
and
one.
He said in my testes are named this, and one of them was something, and the other one was Dr. Kenneth Noisewater. And we asked about that, and he said that they let him name his testicles.
Right.
And the first one was a good friend of his.
Right. From
and
school.
then Dr. Kenneth Noisewater, he said when he was a kid, and I used to do this when I was a kid. We would prank call people.
Right.
And he was going through the phone book, and there was a name, Dr. Kenneth Noisewater, and they thought it was the goofiest name they had ever heard of before.
And it stuck.
It had always stuck with him from that time. He says my left one is named James Westfall, and my right one is Dr. Kenneth Noisewater. So James Westfall is a friend of his.
That's so good.
What a great idea.
In the original Anchorman, when they're talking, when he puts on his cologne and somebody screams, it smells like
Bigfoot's D.
Yeah, right. And that's Judd Apatow.
Really?
Yeah, who screams that?
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of the producers and one of the co-writers of the movie.
I haven't watched it in a long time. I got to get back there. There's a series of movies. Not that I haven't watched in a long time. There are a series of movies that I have not seen that I have on a list that I've got to get to. Some of them are classics. Others are just you should have seen that movie. Because my son and friend were talking about, or no, it was actually the Swedes. Were talking about The Interview.
Oh, yes.
And I'm
a big fan.
And I still haven't seen it. And they were saying about how great it is. And I know you've been talking about that too.
Do you remember how when that rolled out, there was the hacking of the Sony computers?
Yeah.
So all the old PlayStation data was released. But more in contention was all of these correspondence within the movie studios about who they didn't want to work with. And then so that was sort of in retribution because this movie obviously was showing North Korea, and it was lampooning Kim Jong-il, I should say, and so that's what caused that all. But the movie didn't really get a big release. In fact, it didn't get any theatrical release. They went right to streaming around the holidays. They put a big push on it, and then they stopped it dead in its tracks.
Yeah.
You know what movie I watched the other day? Did you guys ever see the movie Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Did you guys
I think
ever
I've
see that?
seen it. Rings a bell.
I just watched that the other night and followed it up with Back to the Future too.
Yeah. And?
All right. So Back to the Future has wormed its way into my subconscious so much. It's just ridiculous. But I had new thoughts about Back to the Future as I was watching it the other night that I want to ask you guys about this.
Okay.
I feel like, listen, it is a perfect movie. I'm not trying to make it any better.
That's all right.
Okay. So,
are you trying to make it even better?
I'm trying to.
I'm sure they appreciate that.
I'm trying to make an actual show that when you watch Back to the Future, in my mind, it doesn't end the way it does in the movie. In my mind, what happens is when Doc Brown decides to rip up the letter that Marty's going to give to him that tells him that he's going to be killed in 1985.
Right.
So when he tears that up, Marty then decides, I can't go back to the future. I need to make sure that that I make sure that over the next 30 years that everything goes to plan and I save Doc's life. So Marty then decides to not go back to the future and stays in 1955 and lives out those years because he figures Marty's going to be born anyway, and then that Marty's going to know that present and that future and all that. And then you can have a series that just follows Marty McFly from 1955 to 1985.
That's an interesting concept. So that is if you believe that you can live in the same
Parallel universe.
that
Or-
your other reality lives along with you in
Yeah.
the same existence.
So
And
you-
I
because
guess you
there-
can do whatever you want to in movies. so-
There would be a time I think we learned something from the classic Academy Award-winning Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes.
That if people out of two different time realms meet and in fact touch, it causes a explosion.
Yeah.
Right.
So Marty would have to spend his entire time avoiding
himself.
little Marty.
Yeah, little
Yeah,
Marty.
so-
He also calls his penis that.
And the picture that he has of him and his siblings, that's sort of an indicator if time is proceeding the way it should.
I think-
and if it's not, then he will kind of, he'll.
What if he
swoop
looks
in
at the
and save
picture
the
case?
day?
What if he looks at the picture and his mom is now Jenna Jameson?
Okay. Going in a direction I wasn't really.
That's a whole other direction.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Loosely, it kind of reminds me of what was the show with Scott Bakula? Where he
Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap. I mean, he went from body to body, but he was trying to make sure that this series of events, that these things happened correctly over time in order to have the timeline play out properly.
It always kills me when I'm going to go back and I'm going to make sure that the door, everything you're
Yes.
doing, as the great science fiction writer Harlan Ellison said, everything you're doing, every footstep you're taking is effing things up.
Right.
So you can't go back and I turned it this way so I saw it. Hypothetically, every movement, every breath you take is screwing things up.
Well, trying to make complete sense out of time travel movies is a waste of time because you're never really going to.
Everything else.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, honestly, you're trying to understand it or trying to apply actual science to time travel.
Right.
It's a futile effort because time travel doesn't exist. But
that would be a waste of time.
Which brings me to my question, and this is a Back to the Future related question. Marty has done everything he's supposed to do, and George has done everything that he's supposed to do to make the future from 1955 to 1985 get back to what it was supposed to be, right? And then but the picture keeps fading. The siblings keep fading until George pushes that other guy out of the way.
Yes.
To then have the dance with
the kiss,
Lorraine.
really.
With a kiss, right?
The kiss is what sealed it.
But at that point, haven't they done everything that they were supposed to? Why is the picture still fading?
Well, the picture stops fading until George kisses Lorraine.
When he finger blasts her.
It was the kiss at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance that sealed the deal for
that they were going to stay together.
But hasn't he already done everything that he's needed to do in order to get to that kiss?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. But it probably was going to happen even with Idiot trying to cut in and dance with her. But they needed,
They need a little more
they
drama?
needed something. They needed a little more drama.
Okay.
Exactly. I was going to bring up, with time travel and being explained in movies, it always becomes confusing to me, even in Endgame
Or multiverse
when
stuff.
when
Yes.
they start to explain how
Sure.
with the elder the elder, yes, explaining how it all works out. Banner is, I'm like, I still got lost in that whole thing.
Yeah, well, there's a show called Dark Matter that's on Apple Plus right now that I'm thoroughly enjoying, and you love Jennifer Connelly. She's in it, but this deals with essentially that, like the multi-universe multiverse, I guess you should say, and it just becomes like an absolute mind f. Yeah.
By the way, what would if, because you played that clip just a second ago, what if Bodhi showed up in Back to the Future?
Yeah.
That would be a waste of time.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Back off, War Child.
I
Seriously.
can show you how it won't be. Put on your Ronald Reagan mask and get in the car.
The actor?
Yeah.
Yes. The actor.
I'm really curious to see how Deadpool and Wolverine ties together the Marvel Universe with everything else that's been going on.
Yes.
Because it's gotten confusing.
Do I have to watch Loki?
They're saying no.
Okay.
I think yes, because you're dealing with the TVA, and listen, Steve's right. You don't have to, but I think it'll make a little bit more sense because you'll understand what the TVA is doing. And years ago, I was not on the Marvel bandwagon like you guys were, and so the first Avengers movie came out, and I hadn't seen I'd seen Iron Man, but the other ones had, and you guys said go see Thor, because you'll understand who Loki is at this point. I think if you watch the TV series Loki, you'll understand a little bit more about the TVA and how that's going to play into with tying these universes, these multiverses together.
Right.
See, and they've made a special point, though, to say that they've designed it as because they realize they've been. It's been an issue that people feel they have to do homework to go see these theatrical movies.
Yeah.
And that stopped people from going, I didn't see the series, blah, blah, blah. So that is an excuse to not go see it. That's why they're making sure
you don't have to.
They'll give you the primer.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all I need because it did get to a point, and we were at a point where we were like, more, give us more.
Yes.
This is, God, we love this world. This is fantastic. But then with all the tendrils out there in streaming and you need to watch it on this channel in order to get out what the next movie and blah, 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 it was going all over the place. They overshot.
And rightfully so. The fan base said, no, you're not going to, you don't. If you want us, now we have to pay for your subscription service to go pay for the movies?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, my son and I were just talking about this the other day about how we were, it was a family event when a new Marvel movie came out, and it didn't matter which one it was. We're all going. This is great. I'm excited. You get all pumped up for this movie.
Yeah.
And at some point, even my son said, he's like, it was too much.
Yeah.
It became too much.
It's
this
what
is
happens.
a guy who loves this type of stuff, but hopefully they can course correct and get us back to being that excited. And I am excited about Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine.
The only Marvel movie of this year.
Yeah.
They're sinking the full budget into it. This is the one that will join the X-Men with the Avengers.
Yeah.
Yes, what's not to be excited about?
Yep. And it's coming out, in
a couple weeks?
Yeah, 25th.
25th?
Yep.
Sweet. I'm very excited for it. All right. Well, anyhow, just to backtrack a little bit, it is the 20th anniversary of Anchorman.
Yeah.
And that's why we kind of got started on this.
Smells like Bigfoot's
This little chat and headed down that path. All right, we should take a quick break and come back in a moment because some bizarre file stories are indeed on the way. So we will get back in your face with that stuff when we return. Stay put.
All the jokes like Angry Sanchez, or I didn't have comedy. I wasn't doing comedy.
Yeah, you had little segments, but
yeah,
you know that's.
And then Will Smith discovers me, and I'm like, so glad I did this. And then you move to LA, you get a TV show, and then
that's how it goes.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for not knowing about life.
And now you understand like the weird science behind comedy. The efficiency of words and all that.
Oh yeah. I get blown away. I get blown away sometimes by just that, like those little coincidences in life that send you on a path, and then you go, God, what if I hadn't done that?
When I did stand up, I learned, and I did it for about 10, 11 years, and I enjoyed it, but I knew it was actually radio that stepped in out of the blue and became a thing that I just loved because it allowed me to do comedy in a different way. But the refining and there's a joy in that with stand up and having things fail and having if you can have fun on stage regardless. Even if something's tanking and you're enjoying. Carson was an expert at having fun with tanking.
You got to be cool with the silence.
Right.
I went up one night in the store and I was just trying to write.
Yeah.
And I was bombing and then someone just goes. Talk about Anne Frank. in the audience. And then I go, I used to think Helen Keller and Anne Frank were the same person. Right. And it kills, right?
Yeah.
But I never knew. I didn't know that was funny. I thought I was an idiot. And then they laugh, and I was like, yeah, I found out the Anne Frank house, they're not. And everyone's like, what? I was like, yeah, you didn't. And I tell the story, and it's very simple. I thought they were like, you want to go to the Anne Frank house? I was like, yeah, we'll get a bag of weed and get high and we'll laugh. And they're like, laugh? I go, yeah, put a plunger in her toilet, chuck it up. And they're like, what? And they're like, I don't think you can go to her bathroom. And they're like, you can see the closet they kept her. And I was like, they kept her in a closet?
Oh, dude.
I swear to God. And they're like, yeah, the Nazis are looking for her. I go, the Nazis? You're telling me, I go, how many times did this chick roll snake eyes? Can't see, can't hear, can't talk, locked in the closet. Nazis are looking for her. And so I tell this on stage. I get off stage and Rogan's like, please tell me that's in your act. I go, no. I was like dead serious. I go, I'm being dead serious. And he goes, that is the funniest thing. He goes, are you being serious right now? I go, I'm being dead serious. He goes, when did you find out they're not the same person? I go, at the Anne Frank house. We're high as crap. I'm telling Helen Keller jokes. And I'm like, she had a dog, right? And they're like, what? I was like, to my friends, I'm like, oh, he ran away. And they're like, how do you know so much about Aunt Frank? I was like, well, you would too if her name was. And this lady goes, are you telling Helen Keller jokes? And I'm like, oh my God. So then I take that story, I tell it on Comedy Central with Ari Shaffir on This Is Not Happening, and then all of a sudden you got a bit. But if you're not willing to fail or get the clap, so if you get the, if you have the clap right, I think what we're saying is, if you're listening and you have a venereal disease, this might be the best day of your life.
Look at it as a plus.
Success is just around the corner.
Success is just around the corner.
Are of that ilk.
I just want to give them some more free advertising because they have this amazing salsa and guacamole dip.
I don't even want to talk about that. You just made a mess in my mouth. I know I just said
you
that.
just made a mess in my mouth. How am I going to explain it to my mother?
Good.
I told you he would do that. He's a football player. Did he give you that line about the big game?
Damn it.
He made a mess in your mouth, didn't he?
Start the countdown clock for when that is isolated and repeated many
already
times.
working on
I
it.
know she is.
It's like goo. Goo.
You.
Did he leave goo in your mouth?
Oh, gross.
Go back to the strawberries. I want to talk about the strawberries.
Yeah, because now he messed it all up with salsa and guacamole.
Yeah,
I'm
skip that.
thinking
Let's go back to
Sweet and savory. The deep fried brownie is glorious.
But she's just saying chocolate covered things.
In general,
and trying to do it yourself.
It's hard because you have to know what's going to be the right consistency.
Kathy, you end up on Pinterest with nailed it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, what does this guy say?
I just hit the button.
Oh, Jesus. You just made a mess in my mouth.
I'm going to need that over here.
I know you are.
I know, yeah.
That'll go next.
It was the day I would never forget.
That'll go next with the ball sacks are yummy. Right?
Ball sacks are yummy.
You just made a mess in my mouth. Ball sacks are yummy. You just made a mess in my mouth. Ball sacks are yummy. You just made a mess in my mouth. Ball sacks are yummy. I can't do the stutter thing.
Well, you might be
ball
able to.
Ball sacks are yummy. You just made a mess. You just made a mess in my mouth. Ball sacks are. Ball sack. You just made a mess. You just made a mess in my mouth. Ball sacks are yummy. You just made a mess in my mouth. Ball.
It's like Max
sacks are
Headroom.
yummy. Do it slowly.
Oh,
It's
okay.
even sexier.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Oh, wait.
You just made a mess in my mouth.
Ball sacks are yummy.
You just made a mess in my mouth.
Okay.
Sounds a little Mandy-ish.
It does, doesn't it? Oh, dear Lord. What were we talking about?
Just made a mess in my mouth.
No, it's
Hi, my name is Manthe, and you just made a mess in my mouth.
Hey, director Jennifer Lee hinted that Elsa may get a girlfriend in Frozen 2.
What?
Yeah, she said...
That's why it's called Frozen 2 Cold Cooter.
She said, where we're going with it, we have tons of conversations about it, and we're really conscientious about these things.
Listen, I can help warm that thing up.
She said
You let Cold Cooter go.
She said the sequel is expected in 2019.
I consider that a personal achievement that Kathy likes Cold Cooter.
And the shocking part is that you didn't.
I was still laughing, and Preston just kept going. I'm like, nobody really
But
said
I mean,
anything
for
about
Kathy
that.
Romano to enjoy Cold Cooter, I think I'm just going to sit out the rest of the show.
Inventive.
Kristen Bell and Idina Menzel have signed on to reprise the roles of Anna and Elsa in Frozen 2. So
They always say this stuff, but they never follow it. This is the Spider-Man where he's going to be gay.
Yeah.
They never do it.
There's a show, I forget the name of it, but Jace is watching it, and one of the kids in the show has dads. And two dads, and
It's a Disney show, isn't it?
I can't remember. It's
Disney,
a cartoon. I can't remember.
Oh yeah,
Crazy Family or like Loud Family or something like that. And
We watched a show called My Two Dads.
Yeah.
but I was just
different.
surprised. He just watches it like he didn't. It was just normal. Like this one kid has two dads. This other kid has a mom and a dad, and it was just.
Mommy, did you hear Elsa's a lesbian?
Yeah, that'll be next.
It's just totally the other way. It has no sense of it. It's totally fine. Elsa's lesbian?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting.
It's on Nickelodeon.
The Loud House?
Yes,
There you
That's
go.
it.
Okay, yeah.
No kidding. I have.
We're gay!
I've not
and
seen that.
loud! loud.
And they're pretty. One of the dads is pretty feminine, and they one of the episodes, or at least the one that I watched, they go on a skiing trip, and the dads are very overprotective and nervous that the kids are going to get hurt. And,
Wow,
Interesting.
The voice of one of them is Wayne Brady, and then the voice of the other is Michael McDonald, the singer.
I'm in love with a dude. I turn around and he goes to town on me. It feels so good.
That's not what they do in the show.
Is it
in the
really?
Call it the Hershey Highway.
Are you sure it's the Michael McDonald?
Nope.
Okay.
I got distracted by the singing.
Sweet freedom. We're just two dudes and we're getting it on.
Penis. By penis, by penis, by penis.
I'm working my way through. Obviously, we're approaching it with sensitivity.
Of course we are.
And compassion.
See,
I think it's cool.
We are a progressive show, obviously, not even remotely having fun.
Very different Michael McDonald.
All right,
Oh, it's the one from
I know that guy.
Mad TV. There was an actor, Steve, you'd recognize
He's
this guy.
excellent. He's very funny.
Yeah, he's a great actor, and
Okay.
he plays the other gay dad.
It's not the one from
the Doobies.
the Doobie Brothers. Though I've dabbled occasionally, now and then, I like some dudes.
I like your Michael McDonald,
Thank you.
Steve.
I'm a fan of man junk, like it on my head. They call it what they call it? A Roman helmet.
Michael McDonald isn't singing this song.
Oh, God
This
damn
is
it.
Tom Johnston.
That's Tom Johnston. There you go. That's
Thank
it.
you
That's-
very much.
That's Michael McDonald.
You don't know me, cause I'm your all the lyrics sound like the others.
So it's called, what's it called, Loud House?
Well, that's
Yeah,
Michael
yes.
McDonald, right? And this is Michael McDonald?
You might
or
be
are they
right.
both? Mick.
They're both McDonald.
Both Mick.
Oh,
M-C-D-O-N-A-L.
McDonald had a he had a with a
I don't know what animal you just
I
said.
don't know.
I don't know what
Neither do
noise. I don't know what noise to make.
and the hair goes. He does the Michael McDonald see and say.
Okay, so Michael McDonald.
The Loud House.
The Loud House.
The Loud House.
Yeah, there you go.
And you were just singing "Oh McDonald" gives me a reason to play this.
That was me from 2 days ago. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay.
All right.
Jeff Franklin, the creator.
You don't get news like this anywhere else.
And showrunner for Fuller House and the creator of the original Full House has been fired from Warner Brothers.
Why?
What happened?
What
happened to the skeleton man? He created Full House.
I don't know why you're still here.
Don't even question.
I heard it was breakfast.
There was another time, and I got really pissed off at this one too. A buddy and I went into a bar that had pool tables, and we just wanted to shoot some pool. We weren't there exclusively to do it. It was, hey, pool tables.
Let's do it.
Let's shoot a game of pool. So we go over to play pool. Nobody's playing at the table. And we go to play, and there's a couple sitting at the bar. They're like, no, table's ours. I'm like, there's nobody playing here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, our quarters are on the table. I'm like, yeah, but you're not playing pool.
No. Quarters indicate next.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So my buddy and I'm like, yeah, we want to play against each other. No, you got to play us.
No.
And see, so it was their ownership of the table because they currently were the winners of, and so I tried to tell the bartender this, and the bartender's like, no, they're right.
No,
I'm like,
you own the table if you stay at the table
and keep playing.
Yes, and then you can put the quarters out
Yeah.
to indicate who's going to challenge the winner.
But
Maybe
apparently
they were looking for somebody to play. They had their quarters
but
there.
they left. I didn't want to play with them. I wanted to play with my buddy, and we weren't interested in playing.
You're not doing a tournament.
Because we just wanted to play a friendly game amongst ourselves, as opposed to these two a-holes, which of course they were great playing. They were great at pool, and they ended up beating us. But I was just like,
I don't want to play against you.
Does anybody understand
Yeah.
the issue here? They weren't playing pool. They were sitting at the bar, which was empty, by the way.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what is this? This is what you do.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are a bunch of
This is
dicks.
what you do.
You should have done the thing that
This is your thing.
that the Joker does in The Dark Knight and break it in half. And
I know. We're having tryouts.
I think I have a good idea.
Ask me how I got these scars. My wife was always sad. I just wanted her to smile.
There are times when I wish I didn't care about getting arrested. You know what I mean? Just snap the cue and
So
go.
the question you have to ask yourself is it worth letting me and my friend play pool?
You're right.
What about this?
Or do you want this cue rammed through your optic nerve?
Steve, that is going to be my go-to from now on. When I have that confrontation moment, I'm going to think about that and maybe pull a joke.
Sure, why not?
You know? Is it the scars?
Scars.
Are they bothering you?
Just wanted her to smile.
I love it. But some people did have to make a night of it on Friday. And one of the stories that we didn't get a chance to hear was from our intern, Christy, because she was up at the Cardboard Classic with us and made a break for it on Friday after the Cardboard Classic. And we heard, now I've already heard the story, but I'll let her tell you
I
guys,
haven't, yeah.
that she ended up having to stay with a stranger, that a stranger took her in is what I heard.
Right.
So I started asking her about it. I'm like, we should hear this story on the air. So, Christy, you left. Did you leave right after the sledding was done and try to head home?
Yeah, I left at, there was like 2 sleds to go, so we just headed out trying to get out of there. And
Yeah, that's a good
What
call.
time?
Yeah.
What time would you say? Because when I left, I went up to the bar after and hung out for a little bit. I left around 1 o'clock. You had to leave around
It was
12, 15.
15?
15.
Yeah, okay.
Probably that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got back to the hotel, checked out, started my car,
Right.
went to the bathroom, all that stuff. And then so I started to leave, and right as I'm leaving, a fire truck must have like exploded or something.
Exploded?
Onto the road.
Real quick, you know, talking about the traffic. I'm not going to go into a full conversation about this yesterday, but what happened yesterday is I was on my way back from the shore and I got a flat tire.
Yay!
Right.
That's the best.
And I don't have a spare because my car has run flat tires, which is idiotic because there should be a spare anyway, but there wasn't. So I had to get roadside assistance. But I was on the Pennsylvania Turnpike at this point, and the roadside safety guys, you know, that driving the trucks with the lights on and everything, man, they were on it right away.
Were they?
Yeah, they pulled up immediately, pulled over, put the flashers on, asked me if I needed some help. One guy even escorted me to the exit ramp.
Wow.
And, yeah, it was really cool.
Broadcaster Preston Elliott, please move to the side of the road.
But they were quick to respond. I didn't even reach out. They just happened to be driving by.
Oh, no kidding.
And pulled over
Oh, you got
and,
lucky.
and helped out, which was nice.
Just to jump in quickly here, in case, the question I wanted to ask, you'd mentioned this earlier. How far can you travel on run flats?
Well, I was told by roadside assistance that if it depends, I guess, on what kind you have, but I was told that as long as you don't have any sidewall damage, you can drive up, she said, up to 50 miles even at 0 PSI for as long as you do 50 miles an hour or under. Okay. You can drive up to 50 miles.
50 miles, okay, if there's no side tire damage.
Correct.
Okay,
If you have side tire damage,
it'll rip it up.
Then you're screwed.
Right.
Yeah, because apparently it has to do with the actual the way the run flats are made is the sidewall parts of your tire will support weight
because they're filled with pudding.
That must be the pudding.
Yeah, I've heard that. And so it's funny you should mention this because Preston, a while ago, I don't have a flat. I don't have a spare tire either.
Oh man!
So I have to keep that roadside plan, and because you lose the number, you're not hopefully not getting flats every 7 seconds, and you're not calling it all the time. So I have it in the car. I'm like, I need to have this because I don't know what would happen if I had a flat.
I'd rather have a spare.
Yeah.
Even though it was 100 degrees yesterday, I would rather get out and just change
the tire
and have the donut on there and know that I can get to the place to get my tire fixed when I need to get there. I don't have to take care of this right now. You know what I mean? Just change it and get it done. I can change a tire like that. I've changed so many in my lifetime.
Likewise, I hate having to sit a full spare tire, or I guess you could do a donut, but if I'm going to do it, I do a full spare tire in my trunk.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, so my daughter had a flat tire on the Northeast Extension last week, and same thing. But we called I guess the state trooper barracks, and they had that Geico truck come up behind her. And
Did they have the pudding with them?
No. We had to supply our own, which is weird. No, but we were down the shore, and she was on the Northeast, so she's 3 hours away. So that put our minds at ease, because there wasn't a whole lot of shoulder. Put our minds at ease that there was a car with flashers that was set up behind her, and then eventually roadside assistance came, because she was in the Subaru, full-size spare in the back, which was great. And then Subaru had assistance come and grab her. It was definitely a load off our mind, but we had a full-size spare. But she's never changed a tire. I wasn't going to have her change a tire on the side of the road.
Yeah, you can figure it out.
Yeah. And do that with cars whipping by.
Make sure your whole body's under the car when you jack it down.
By the way, I got to use my the super secret button in my car, the missile launch button.
Yeah,
it says SOS on it, and there's a little flap, and you push it, and it opens up, and the button is flashing red.
Nice.
And I hit it, and apparently it's for when you're in an accident, but they were like, yeah, you hit the wrong button, but we'll connect you to the proper,
You've got to be a dummy.
Yeah, hold on, Marissa.
Very jealous you got to hit that button.
Yeah.
This was years ago when I first got a car with run flats, but my dad got on the phone with the tire company, and pretty much they sent him a spare tire.
Oh, in the mail? In a big envelope?
Literally, Steve. It just came in a box that was just a tire. And I didn't keep it in my trunk like I probably should have. But for this reason, why, Preston, there is a moment when you might still need a tire and you're in the middle of nowhere.
By the way,
so maybe check into that.
Yeah, no, it's true. I should, because even on the undercarriage of my car, I don't know. And remember, they started to put in points where there were points where the jack would fit in snugly, or the tire lift. The jack would lift it and it would lock in certain points under the undercarriage of the car, so that you didn't have any slippage. I wouldn't even know where to put the jack now in my car. I mean, I could approximate, but it was impressive. I used to be really I would consider myself pit crew ready.
Yep.
Yeah, at replacing a tire.
I feel like the old man in a Christmas story. Dreaming of the days at the 500.
I was damn good. In fact, I always swapped out the regular tire iron, and I had one of those T.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you could spin it.
Yep.
I know what you're talking about.
Like a man.
Anyway, I didn't mean to. Real quick, Mike works for roadside assistance.
All right.
Let me go to him real quick, and then we'll move on. But I didn't mean to dive into too much here. But I did want to thank those guys. They were nice. Hey, Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning, man.
What's up, bud?
Hey, I work for for PennDOT, for the Safety Service Patrol in the city.
Okay, cool.
Don't believe the run flat thing. It's a lot of hype. I've seen a lot of people, literally getting accidents because they try to drive for a long distance at highway speed.
Yeah, I'm pretty much sure I destroyed my rim yesterday, but I'll find out later on today.
Just enough to get off the highway, and that's it.
That's it. So the idea of a run flat, but I mean, honestly, outside of a run flat, if you're going at a slow rate on a deflated tire, and I mean, what's the difference then? The run flat's a little bit better?
No, most cars don't come with a spare, and that's their way of justifying it. But it like I said, it's just enough to get off the expressway, and it depends on whether it's the front, the back. Believe it or not, the weather conditions, if there's potholes, has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, bud.
Real quick, I called in years ago. I'm the repo man that called in about 15 years ago.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus.
I remember that call.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I now work for PennDOT in the city.
All right.
Better job.
Less shooting.
Thanks, Mike.
Take care, guys.
Take care. We'll see you later. All right. Anyway, it was an interesting experience, and whatever. Somebody texts in, Steve, now that we should have a segment of me called it Man's Man. Because I know how to change a tire.
Yes, I can do
Preston
that.
Elliott, Man's Man.
Ah, man.
I'll have to come up Man's Man storyline.
We could do some cool stuff.
All right, before we do the bizarre file, which we need to do, Casey, you wanted to give a little butt plug.
Yeah, so this all just sort of came together in the last few days, but the Bend to the Shore bike tour is coming up. It's on Sunday, July 21st.
Wow.
How many days away is that? That's way too
A week from this
close.
Sunday.
Yeah, so next Thursday, I'm having an event with a longtime sponsor, Pinocchio's Pizza, on Baltimore Pike and Media, and we're doing a beer tasting event with Dewey. Dewey is a new sponsor.
They're amazing.
Of Team WMMR Rock and Rollers. So we're going to do a Dewey beer tasting event at Pinocchio's Pizza with a special collaboration from Wilson's Secret Sauce. They're going to bring some brisket by. And so we're going to do a little barbecue, a little pizza, a little Dewey. And so anybody can come out. We're just going to but also...
when is that again? What date?
It's Thursday, July 18th from 6 to 9 p.m. at Pinocchio's. It's a team event for my team as well. So we're going to have those guys come back. And actually, if you want to see what our new jerseys are going to look like, they will be handed out and revealed to team members on Thursday night at the event.
All right. I put it in the calendar. I'll definitely come. I'll come down and check that out. By the way, the Dewey beer is my brothers-in-law. That's their favorite.
Is that their jam?
They love it.
Yeah. So we're working on. So what's really cool is they have actually Pinocchio's has this old truck that they have beer taps set up on, and they'll do these tasting events, and they tap the beers out of this cool looking truck. But we're working on a list of like 4 different beers that we're going to highlight that night.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right,
That's
cool.
all I have to say about
that
that.
information posted, Case?
Yeah, and you can check on my my Instagram information is posted there, and then we'll back all that stuff up on the website.
Excellent. All right, we have bizarre file stories. Let's get to them. Then right after that, I'm going to reiterate the day off at Dorney word of the day.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, it's brought to you by College Ave Student Loans. From application to graduation and beyond, College Ave has got you covered with flexible student loans designed to keep your life simple. Apply today at collegeave.com. A man from California watched his Montreal vacation turn from a monster horror film to an emergency responder hero movie before his eyes. The saga started when his 8-year-old son, Max, was attacked by a creature in the water while at a beach in Montreal's Parc Jean Drapeau. This is a lake, okay?
A creature?
Yes, so that's what I found interesting, too. So Max wound up screaming on the dock, covered in blood. The boy's father, George Mandel, explained that he was playing hide-and-seek with his son, Max, on an inflatable play structure when his son began to yell out in pain. He was in the water, he said, next to the raft, and just instantly started screaming, kicking, and thrashing around. A lifeguard immediately pulled Max from the water by the life vest and put him on the dock, and Mandel ran to his son. He said there was blood gushing out of his leg in multiple places, and he said he had been attacked by a fish, we believe. What was weird, that as soon as he got out of the water, he was still screaming and thrashing, and that's when something in my parental brain clicked, and I ran over and saw that there was blood all over the place. The working theory is that a musky fish bit Max and then cut him when thrashing around after the attack.
They got him to the hospital. He had to be worked on by a sturgeon.
This is my man.
A muskie is a long, large fish with sharp teeth and scaly cheeks and gill covers.
I didn't realize they'd be aggressive towards a human, though.
They aren't. Mandel has spoken to several people who are knowledgeable about the fish and feel that the bite marks match the fish. They think it was a bit of a freak accident.
Like a moron muskie.
If true, it would be a rare occurrence, as muskies very rarely bite humans. Muskies Canada Montreal chapter president Nicholas Pierre feels that the breed is the culprit. He said it has the marks of a muskie, where you can see the snout has some teeth. So the snout part on the knee, and then I guess what you can maybe call the canine lines,
right,
on the side of the jaw and both sides. He said that's not from a snapping turtle.
Just you reading this sounds Canadian.
The fish may have gotten into the man-made landlocked lake during a flood. Pierre estimates that the muskie that bit Max would be more than a meter long and over 25 years old. After the attack, fast-acting lifeguards put Max in the boat, took him to the shore, treated the wounds, and then obviously they got him to the hospital.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it tore him up pretty bad. All right, in Salem, New Hampshire, a 74-year-old man was arrested on Wednesday after police say he was lying completely naked at the wave pool at Kenobi Lake Park.
I know this looks bad.
Captain Jason Smith said there was a male subject there who was completely naked. Police say they received a call around 6 p.m. that several families and children had witnessed John Carabello naked.
Don't you hate it when you have an irregular tanning pattern on your scrotum?
When an officer arrived, Carabello was arrested for indecent exposure. Investigators allege that he had been naked for several minutes.
Yeah.
Police say that he was so intoxicated that he had to be taken into protective custody. as investigators say that he had told officers he had been drinking prior to even arriving.
Really?
Is that his mugshot, Nick?
It sure is.
Oh, my God,
Looks like
Steve.
a happy guy.
This guy's got this goofy smile on his face.
You gotta see it.
This is a dude that was wasted and lying naked in his 70s.
This is awesome.
He looks very happy.
I feel great.
In his mugshot, if you'd like to
being naked.
take a look at that sometime.
He does not care.
He looks like a cartoon character.
Dating can be quite exhausting, but one man who is feeling burned out with the whole thing is getting a little help with his love life from his two brothers. Chris Cook told his twin brother Henry that younger brother Jamie that he might give up on love after searching for the one his whole life and not finding her. So Henry and Jamie took matters into their own hands, and they started a campaign called Find Chris Love, giving themselves 30 days to find him a match. And they went all out. The brothers started a dedicated TikTok account, started a website, findchrislove.com, and even rented a billboard to find the love of his life. Henry and Jamie also had car magnets made to get the word out in their Colorado community and created online dating profiles for Chris, all without his knowledge, by the way.
Wow. Is this guy a goon or is he?
He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at a picture. Look at the picture on Nick's screen here, Steve. He's a good-looking fella.
Yeah, he's fine.
Henry and Jamie said Chris is an awesome guy. He's smart, funny, charismatic, outgoing, and handsome. Of course, he doesn't always have the best of luck in romance, so we figured we'd step in and see if we could help him out. They shared that Chris is 34. He's about 6'4", runs half marathons for fun, and described him as smart, loyal, and a blast to be around.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't get that. That's having trouble getting.
I don't think he's having problems finding women. I think
It's just having a relationship.
The right one.
Yeah.
Finding the
Maybe
right
he doesn't
one.
want that.
Yeah, so, all right, and there you go. That is what we have in the Bizarre File for you this morning. All right, the word that you need to enter for the Preston and Steve day off at Dorney, which is Thursday, day after tomorrow. The word is splash. Now, how do you enter that? All right, we've kind of shifted things. What we would like you to do is go to our social media channels and click on the link there. So the Preston and Steve Facebook page, our Instagram, our X account, all that stuff. Winners will get free admission for the day, free parking, and early entrance to enjoy the rides that are opening early, including the brand new coaster Iron Menace. We'll be broadcasting right next to that, and you will be going. You can ride it as much as you want.
Yeah. It looks like such a badass coaster.
So it's the all-new Iron Menace. It's family fun in Planet Snoopy, over a dozen water slides in Wild Water Kingdom. All for one price, by the way. And how about that price being free? So make sure you send the word splash over to us. We would love for you to be with us. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Someone said that they were going like 90 miles an hour down the road, and there was they weren't clear.
You don't exaggerate much, do you? It went from exploded to tipped over to 90 miles an hour.
No, someone did say it was 90 miles
It was
an hour.
okay.
down the road.
Not even the most finely tuned vehicle could travel down that road at 90
Well, it was
miles.
traveling at 9 miles an hour because it had exploded and it was flying forward, Preston.
Got it. Okay, so anyhow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So there was no getting down the road essentially.
So there was an atomic bomb blast.
Yes.
So you're looking to get out on the road and get home. Where do you live, by the way, here?
I live in South Jersey.
South
so-
Jersey, okay.
Yeah,
just
and what
right over the
road
bridge.
is this, by the way? Is this like, did you get out of?
I got out of the resort, and right in front of me, like I was the next car to go, a police officer started putting flares up and everything.
Casey,
so-
whatever that road is that goes to the resort.
940.
940. All right, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyhow.
So they were redirecting traffic up this hill. It was like the steepest hill I'd ever seen in my life.
There are a lot of them there, yeah.
And trying to drive up, I make it maybe halfway up, and I start rolling backwards. And I don't know what to do. I've never driven in these conditions before. So I'm just sitting there. These people come up to me and said, "We'll push you up the hill. We don't really know what we're doing, but we'll push you up the hill." So I'm like, all right, you know better than me. And then this woman comes out of like the thicket. And
she just comes walking out of the woods?
It appeared to me that she was coming out. It appeared that she was coming out of the woods. She, I did learn that she had parked her car up there, and she lived on this really steep hill. It was like a development of houses, and she says, "Can I get into your car and I'll help you?" and she helps me, and she can't get my car up the hill. So
she gets behind the wheel.
She
Yes.
gets behind the wheel.
Because she's done this before. We
Yes.
assume because she lives next to this stinking hill.
Yes,
Okay.
so she knows what she's doing, but my car's an old person car, so we're not going to get up the hill. So she decides to reverse down the hill, and as she's doing that, I kind of, I'm really grateful for her, and I'm thankful that she helped me. But I kind of start to realize that she reeks of alcohol.
Oh boy.
So,
seriously?
Man.
Yeah. So I was like,
And it's noon.
all right, well, like the cardboard class is going on. Maybe she was like, there, and maybe she was not there.
But she was thirsty, right?
She was thirsty, and she goes, "Is this your coffee or mine?" And I said, "That's mine." And she just proceeded to drink it anyway.
She just picked up a coffee and started drinking it.
Okay, I didn't know that this is where the story was going.
Okay.
Yes. So
At any point did she call you a dirty bird?
no, we didn't
Dude,
get
that's
there.
what I thought immediately. Misery. All right, go ahead.
Seriously.
Well, I need to jump.
What's your name, Annie?
Was this right near the lake by any chance?
It
Or,
might have been,
right near like Split Rock? There's another lodge.
yeah, it was right near the lodge.
Okay,
I was
so
about a minute walk from there.
I know this hill. Nick, this is the hill that you and I went down.
Yeah, that's where the fire truck
that
was.
we had to
Yeah.
traverse.
That it exploded earlier.
Down.
Yeah, going 90 miles an hour.
It was scary going down the hill, not even going up the hill. That's okay. So I know exactly.
but you
where this
potentially
is.
have you have someone who's potentially drunk sitting at the wheel of your car trying to help. But you're thankful
Drinking her
for it.
coffee.
I'm thankful
Drinking your
for
coffee,
her.
yeah.
Yes, and
At least she offered to help.
I let her have the coffee, obviously, and but she was helping me. I didn't know what else to do. And
nice.
she gets my car down the hill,
You have any birth control?
and then we end up in a ditch on like the side because the sides of the hill are like divoted down.
Right. Yeah.
So we end up on the side of the hill. Someone pushes my car out, and I'm like, okay, I'm not driving anymore. I'm gonna end up in a ditch somewhere else alone. So she invites me back to her house.
Let me ask you this. Hang on real quick. Did it end up in the ditch with her behind the wheel?
It did.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
That's when I was like, all right, she needs to get up.
Here,
out
let me
from
help
behind
you. I'm
the
going to
wheel.
run you into a ditch.
Yep.
So I go back to her house with her, and
So you guys had to walk there. You had to walk to her house. You had to go through the thicket again.
How far?
Okay.
She just lived at the top of the hill, so we were
Okay.
able to walk. It was like less than a minute walk.
Okay.
And we get into her house, and things start getting weird. She starts telling me her boyfriend doesn't believe her, that she couldn't leave to come see him, so she makes me call him and tell him that I had been lost and I needed help, so that's why she can't go see him.
Oh,
and there's all
boy.
these snow conditions.
How old is she? About?
She had to have been maybe late 40s, 50s, something.
Yeah, an
not
adult
like a
girl.
teenage
Yeah.
grown woman. Yeah,
My
like,
boyfriend. Do me a favor, sweetie.
so I'm like, all right, I'm thankful that she got me away from the hill, but I need to get away from her now. So I just leave my car at the base of the hill, and she walks me to Split Rock, and I just got a room at the lodge. But the lodge is about a mile away from where the restaurant and everything is. So I spent 30 hours with no food, no drink, nothing, and just alone in my room watching
Yeah, because
cops.
at the base, the story was, and we heard this on Monday, I guess, was, hey, somebody took Christy in. And
Yeah, that was awesome.
She got stuck, and they took her, and she ended up having to stay at somebody's house. We're like, well, that was really nice. It was nice of somebody, a local, a local to help out, and and it ended up being this.
You see, I've known for some time why I was chosen to save you. You and I were meant to be together forever. Now our time in this world must end.
And that was Christy's moment.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to be the mom for a second, but you should have never went with her, and you should have called one of us.
Well, see, the thing is, the Verizon towers went down, so I had no service.
From the explosion
From the explosion of the fire truck.
Fire truck, yeah.
So the only time I could get service was when I got into the hotel and I could use their Wi-Fi. So I had already had a room at that point, and I was like, well, what am I going to say? I'm stuck, and you're going to say, me too.
Yeah. All right.
No,
well,
but instead of going to, well, yeah, okay, I guess you couldn't get in touch with us, but still.
what was the woman's house like? Was she into taxidermy?
No, it was.
I'm working on this owl.
It was old on the inside. I didn't really want to take a look.
Smell like mothballs?
No.
I was also thinking of Pulp Fiction where a spider caught a couple flies.
So here's
Just
the
a
thing.
moment of opportunity.
I have someone who lives in a box in the basement. I'd love you to meet him. Name is the Gimp.
When Nick and I were going down this hill, there was a car that was trying to go up the hill.
That lady was out of her car.
And it was a like a light colored, maybe like silver Toyota something or other.
Did that lady yell at you?
No.
She yelled at me.
Did she really?
About
Why?
what? Yeah, well, because she didn't want me to go any further because of the fire. I'm not exaggerating. Because of the fire truck that was on its side down that hill, and she was warning me, but she was doing it in a shocking, sort of half-hinged kind of a manner. And I was like, all right, I
You
got
think it was the same woman?
I'm wondering.
Okay.
Was she wearing a red sweatshirt?
I don't remember what she was wearing, but
I'm not talking about that.
Was she wearing a red sweatshirt that said Archie Bunker for president?
That was on Nick. That was on Lake Drive or whatever. The hill I'm talking about that you were stuck on, I believe, was a state.
Yeah, that's what it was called, the States Drive or whatever.
Wow. So how long? So when you got into the house, how long were you in the house?
Maybe like an hour.
An hour?
You were there that long?
Because I didn't know what
Want
to
to watch
do.
my stories with me?
What were you? Yeah. What were you guys talking about after you got off the phone with her boyfriend?
She kept asking me like really odd questions.
You'll never know the fear of losing someone like you if you're someone like me.
She really wanted to make me a meal. She wanted to take pictures with me.
Are you a good girl? Are you a good girl?
She just wanted to like document the moment that like she had saved someone.
This is sounding very similar to the Hawaii trip, Preston.
Somebody was texting in and asked if there were swords on the wall.
Yeah, it could have gone that way if she didn't leave.
I don't want to be forward, but I can see your dirty pillows.
Did you take?
You don't want boys touching your dirty pillows.
Did you take your jacket off and hat and gloves and stuff?
Yeah, because I was so like
well, you're lovely.
soaked from being outside, so I wanted to get on.
Do you wonder how I got the smile? I know you couldn't see it with my ski mask on. I have this permanent smile that I gave myself, you see.
And so you were there.
Could you call my boyfriend?
So you're there about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Holy Jesus Christ. You must have thought at some point, I'm going to die. I'm going to get murdered by this person.
Me and Nick just drove right past you.
You didn't know that probably at the same yes. They were. What time did you guys leave?
After her.
Yeah.
How long after her?
I left around Faja of Mine, 93.3 WMMR. Everclear. Always love that song. It is 14 minutes after 10 o'clock. It's Preston and Steve Show. Welcome to Tuesday morning. We have some stuff to give away. We're going to do that very thing via the lesson question. Today, we're giving away a pair of tickets as MMR rocks Third Eye Blind, the Summer Gods Tour, and also joining them will be Yellow Card and Arizona. It is this Friday, July 12th at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. The question, we will go back to just shy of 7 a.m., and we found out this. When he was a professional wrestler, what was Sir Ian McKellen's signature catchphrase? 215-263-WMMR. Let's see if you can get that right, okay? There was a couple of thrown out, I think.
Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't even know that he had been a professional wrestler.
Yeah, when Sir Ian McKellen was a professional wrestler, what was his signature catchphrase? It was uttered about 6:52 this morning. And if you heard it, you should call now. 215-263-WMMR. While you're doing that, we'll do this.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you this morning by Pal Hannah. You can set sail with Pal Hannah in Ocean City, New Jersey, the only Caribbean tiki boat experience. You bring the drinks and the food, they'll captain your boat. Book your tropical getaway or bachelorette party today at PauhanaTikiBoat.com. That's PAUHANA. TikiBoat.com. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, Neverland Ranch is perilously close to an unstoppable wildfire raging through Santa Barbara County. Attempts to create a protective trench around Neverland failed when the backhoe treads kept getting stuck on buried boys' underwear.
Oh.
Justin Bieber performed a special private concert in Mumbai for newly engaged billionaires. Bieber complimented Mumbai, saying that even though it sounds like Dubai, the country respects the Flintstones the way the people of Abu Dhabi do. And finally, M. Night Shyamalan describing his new movie Trap as what if Silence of the Lambs happened at a Taylor Swift concert. Shyamalan admits he originally passed on the original, much more horrifying concept, which is, what if Corey Feldman performed at a Corey Feldman concert? And that's your Hollywood Trash.
All righty. Thank you, Steve. Let's see if you do indeed know the answer to this question. When he was a professional wrestler, what was Sir Ian McKellen's signature catchphrase? And we are going to go to Debbie to see if we can get that answer.
Thanks, Job Donkers.
Oh, you donked it, Debbie.
Hi.
All right. What was Sir Ian McKellen's catchphrase, please?
You shall not pass, pussy.
Yes! Nailed it, Deb. Hang on. Got you a pair of tickets as MMR rocks Third Eye Blind Summer Gods Tour with Yellow Card in Arizona this Friday at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster. Go to WMMR.com and you got your chance to win some pit tickets over there. All right, music news time.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, just a couple of things to pass along to you. Slipknot fans should be excited, at least if you believe Clown, that's Sean Clown Crayon, says that in a new interview, the band is really fired up for their next album, and he thinks the project will be, quote, widely accepted by fans.
So Kathy had to leave early today because she's going to a Knotfest convention.
Oh, yes, of course. He said the band's aiming to celebrate 25 years since the release of Slipknot's debut album. And he had said that I'm just saying that I have a feeling that this one is much needed for everybody.
Just saying.
And he said when it's Crayon said, when is it coming? Last month. Clown said the new music was being released really soon. So I don't know what all.
May I quote you on that, Mr. Clown?
Just saying.
Just saying.
And then only one other thing. What?
Well, no, he might have a couple of.
Okay.
Oh, really?
James Hetfield is loaning out some of his prized vehicle collection.
I didn't know he had a prized vehicle collection.
Yeah, his vehicles are on display at the North American Automobile Experience in Kearney, Nebraska, including a 1932 Ford Roadster, a 1936 Auburn 852 Speedster and Ford Coupe, a 1937 Ford Coupe, a Lincoln Zephyr, a 1956 Ford F-100 as well.
Dude, I just drove through Kearney, Nebraska.
Did you?
This week? Yeah, I had no idea that there's anything like that.
Why didn't you stop off and say hi to James?
I should have. I wish I'd known about this story a week ago.
Nick? Did he do a sort of a photo essay of these cars a while ago?
That sounds familiar.
I remember, there was sort of a tribute to them.
Yeah, maybe.
If you were to go with listen, you dare to dream every time you play the lottery, a collection of cars. Would you have would you Seinfeld it and go with one particular make?
No.
Or, okay.
Nah,
smattering.
I'd need a variety of American muscle.
I think I'd do that too.
And some badass German-made cars, and you gotta have a Ferrari.
Too
crazy. So yeah.
But honestly, Steve, if I had to go with a specific make and not and just go with a whole bunch of models, I would go with like 70s versions of Volkswagens, starting with the microbus. The Carmen Ghia. I think that was a Volkswagen. The Volkswagen thing, and then the buggy.
It's
if
funny.
I could get one of those from like 1974 or 5, that would be amazing.
We were at Sequoia and we were pointing out Minerva, and you were like going on about how the Volkswagen is your dream vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'd like, honestly, because just the history of it, what it represents in car history, an Edsel.
Yeah.
Because it
get one that works and
one that works,
is in great condition. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
I always thought they were a cool looking car.
I thought so too.
But they just, I guess they were underperforming vehicles. People didn't buy them. I just thought a Corvair was kind of a neat looking car.
Corvair was a nice car.
So there's some cool ones out there for sure. But he's gotten his babies, and Hatfield donated the cars to the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, which struck a deal to loan them to the Kearney Museum. Why did he donate them to begin with? Well, he said that he had a vision of not having to take care of these cars anymore.
Okay. Well, that's a lot, too. So I have a friend who is a massive car collector. He has a warehouse. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but he just, and this sounds like a dad joke.
It's literally a warehouse.
It's not a dad joke, but we knew this family, and I didn't know this until the father passed away. But the father had a collection of some like 25 different 1967 Chevelles, and they sold it to this guy, and the only condition is you have to buy them all.
Wow.
You had to buy the whole collection.
Currently in mint condition?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he just added 25 67 Chevelles to his
I thought the
collection.
Chevelle was
It's a cool car.
My growing up, my friend's mother, that was her car. The
But I
Chevelle.
actually like the 67 Chevelle. I don't like as much as the. I think it was the 68 where the body style changed just a little bit. I was a big fan of the Chevelle.
Okay.
Yeah, my buddy had one. He had it was his grandfather's, and it was when he turned 16, he got this. It was a brown Chevelle. It was in great condition. Traded it in for a Ford Probe.
No.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, he regretted
when
that.
my mother passed, it was a badass car. The fact that my mother was driving this, no one could understand. It was her, station car, so to speak. But it was a 1968 Le Mans, Pontiac Le Mans. And it had I forget what it was, but an insane engine in it.
Wow.
And everybody would make offers on this because she literally, drove it to church, that sort of thing.
A friend of mine's got an old GTO convertible.
Wow.
Which is pretty badass. Yeah. Yeah, those are pretty awesome. We could sit here and talk about what
Absolutely,
cars
but
we'd
it's time to
want.
talk about pudding.
Yeah, it's time to have pudding chat. No, but that's it in music news. So we'll take one more quick break. We'll come back in a second. Letter of the day for the Word of the Week prize is Pierre Robert returned.
He is.
Yay.
He's back yesterday.
Excellent. So we'll get in some time with him as well. We'll be right back. Stay with us, please. 12:45.
Did you go up that hill?
No, I didn't go that way.
Yeah, I went all the way around and then ended up finding where Casey was.
They ended up coming the opposite way, so they were going down the hill. She was going up the hill.
I was trying to get back to the turnpike on the south side of Dead Boulder.
I felt pretty bad because on my way back to Jack Frost, after I tried to get on the Northeast Extension, I came back and I'm coming through the entrance, and there was a white, I don't know if it was like a Suburban or something like that was in a ditch, so far so that it was laying on its side.
I saw that.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it too.
I came upon it, Kathy, and Sayadala Kong Kong. No, I came upon it, Kathy. It must have been shortly after the windshield wipers were still going. They had flashers on.
wow.
And I couldn't stop. I wanted to help, but I'm like, if I stop, I'll get stuck too, and it's just going to make the problem worse. So I just kept on going. I know. Good luck. I felt so bad, but I thought that I would.
That's when the wood split. Oh, she's got it. Yeah.
I thought that it would compact the problem if I stopped, and then the next day when we checked out and left, it was still sitting there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I wouldn't have been able to done anything anyway.
That thing was fully on its side. What could you
Was
have
there
done?
anybody in it? Because when I passed
I don't know.
There were people helping someone out of it. So
Yeah.
there was I guess Jack Frost security or somebody was assisting.
There had to have been somebody still. Wait, did you go back to the resort?
No.
No, this is on the way to the resort.
Oh, because there was
This is
another
across the highway.
There was another
Okay.
vehicle, a similar vehicle on its side, exactly as you're describing.
Okay, but the wipers were still on, the lights were, the flashes were on, so it was still running. So people were probably inside of it.
When you were going through the wallet, yeah.
I just. I had to make a decision.
Some money, credit cards.
Quickly, and I decided to keep going.
Nice.
Yeah.
New app, new iPhone.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. It's. I'm glad you got out of there, though, Christy.
Me too.
I could see you, yeah.
It sounded pretty bizarre.
Are you a good girl?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Don't do that ever again.
Yeah.
Did you get her number at least?
I did, yeah. She wanted me to text her when I got home, but I didn't because I was afraid she was
call her?
Hi, Christy. It's me from the mountain. You remember me?
Her name was Mary, by the way.
Mary's
Yeah.
my name.
I wonder if she remembers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, she documented pictures and everything.
No, we did not take pictures. I refused.
Really? So what, was she looking for a selfie or was she going to pose you?
Well, she wanted to take a selfie outside, but I had already taken my shoes off at that point. I was like, oh, it's too much to put my shoes back on. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. That's how you come.
Oh, that's the way it's gonna be.
Well, all right. Well, cool. Are you now? You said you're not used to driving in the snow. You know what's funny is the thing you said to me this morning. You go, "I'm from New Jersey. I don't know how to drive in the snow." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? It snows all the time here in the winter."
Well, I just meant
How old are you?
Up at 23.
Okay.
I just meant like up in mountain snow. I could drive in New Jersey snow.
New Jersey snow, not mountain snow. Okay. Because New Jersey snow has jug handles and mountain snow doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah, it's much easier.
All right, thank you, intern Christy, with her story of survival in the Poconos on Friday during a nor'easter.
You know her experience is psycho.
Yeah, exactly. In yet another case of medical negligence, in India, the severed leg of a victim was allegedly used at Maharani Medical College as a pillow to prop up the man.
What? This is amazing what's going on here. When you're traveling, you have your junk in a tuna can, and now human limbs are being used as pillows.
The victim claimed...
I sort of missed the iguana story.
That hospital staff used his amputated leg under his head as a pillow.
Does that feel better?
After the case came to light...
thank you.
The college principal assured strict action against those found guilty. She said he was given immediate medical aid. The doctor looked for something to raise his head.
First I created my pillow. Now my leg. A revolution in sleeping. You're going to love it.
For the best sleep in the whole wide world, visit myleg.com.
That was pretty damn good, guys.
Thank you.
You're going to love it. The leg contours to your head.
So the doctor looked for something to raise his head.
There is nothing around like a new
shirt
something?
you can wad up or something.
A shirt?
Okay, so Preston had thrown out the stat in the last 4 seasons. Villanova's won more games than any other program in America with 129 wins. And you're... Go ahead.
Only one camp out for Cahunger shootout. In all
there we go. That stat is missing from the page.
Still gnawing at me.
There's always next year, man. There's always next year.
I got to tell you, Impressive, perhaps you can clarify this. There's another stat on this page we have here. Apparently, Coach, you're the most well-endowed head coach for 16 seasons standing.
No.
Am I reading that correctly?
No. He's been Villanova's William J. Finneran endowed head coach.
Oh, you skipped a few words.
I'm sorry. Very different. I misread that. I apologize.
I mean, he's everything. He's probably that too.
I guess those extra words make it different.
You are officially out of your mind.
It's William Finneran endowed, not well.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misread that.
Endowed.
You know what? There's a number of prestigious programs that have endowed coaching positions, and I've never heard that.
You can teach typing, and that's fine, but you're I think you're going to default to whatever you're most comfortable with anyway. You know, like
the Hut and Peck thing.
Yeah,
I was taught, and I still do it.
I know, but like Jim Antes, for instance, have you ever seen him type?
Is that a Hut and Peck guy?
He is our general sales manager, and he uses his whole left hand and then his right index finger, and that's how he types.
All right,
and that's what works for him.
That just use the 2 index fingers and fast.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to watch. Marissa?
All right, going back to cleaning out the keyboards, I actually find it very soothing, kind of like getting a nice piece of earwax out. Have you ever turned over your keyboard and dumped out all the dirt that's in it?
No.
Can we do it to your keyboard that's right here?
Yeah. Go. I don't think. That keyboard. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Tons. This is an old.
Oh my God.
Gross.
It's a Microsoft keyboard here.
It's going to be bad.
Really?
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, there's a fingernail fell out.
You little slimy bastard.
A fingernail fell out.
That's disgusting.
Burn it.
Oh my God, Preston. That's a pubic hair.
Oh my God.
That's great.
I don't want to hit any of the keys here.
Marissa ran away from the microphone.
So, attorney Marty Singer has filed court papers demanding that FX provide him with all 10 episodes of Trust, a forthcoming series about J. Paul Getty III's 1973 kidnapping.
I'm back,
You're gonna
bitches.
I'm sorry?
I'm back, bitches.
Marty Singer.
Marty Singer's back and into his A. And the show Trust about the Getty family, is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
They believe it's felonious, ridiculous, and absurd.
Okay.
And the family plans to vigorously fight the allegations.
More with If It Doesn't Hurt on 93.3 WMMR. It's Everything That Rocks. We are the Preston and Steve radio program. Coming to a close for a Tuesday morning. Kind of feels like a Monday to us, but it's a short work week for us. And a reminder that does include a Word of the Week prize on Friday. It's only 4 letters long. We'll get the letter in a moment or two. We have some other things to do before then. Just a reminder about MM Barbecue. They're coming up, and because did you want me to plug this?
Well, yeah, 'cause nothing more.
is on the is on the bill, I should say, on the main stage.
Yes.
With they're all on the main stage, but I guess I should say the non-GA, non-general admission portion. So they'll be up with the Offspring, Hailstorm, and the Warning as well. But before that, the general admission portion of the day, which means no matter where your tickets are, you can be under the pavilion and see POD and Silvertide, Sleep Theory, and local shots artist Jersey Calling. Working on the side stage with live band karaoke, DJ set by Jackie Bam Bam, and more. WMMR.com. All of the details are there for MMRBQ.
So looking forward to it, because last year is the same sort of time that we had the barbecue, and it was perfect.
Yep. All right. Today is Tuesday. That means Tattoos Day and a giveaway.
Time for a tattoo giveaway.
I'm sorry. The buttons are not what's the word I'm looking for? Configured properly.
You just did a Euromix.
Yeah.
It's a touch screen.
Yeah.
And if you move just a little bit to the left of the tattoo, you get this.
It's time for a tattoo giveaway on the show. Giveaway.
Even further left. What is great light? Oh, yeah. You get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tattoo. Skinning. Giveaway. It's time to give a tattoo away on the show.
And then if you hit the actual button, it's this.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. All right, so our winner is Matthew. Is that Hupler, you think, Casey? Heupler?
Sounds good to me.
Who is from Mantua, New Jersey. So congratulations to you, Matthew. Going to get a $350 gift certificate for Floating World Tattoo and a Piercing, 1729 on South Street in Philadelphia. You can also take a look at their artwork. Go to their website, floatingworldtattoos.com, or on Instagram at Floating World Tattoos. I guess we need to do a letter of the day. You going to get that, Case?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
The Preston and Steve Show brought to you today by the letter
F as in
4.
All right, F is the letter, and we will give away our word, which will be only 4 letters this week. And you get a pair of tickets, dinner and hotel accommodation for the night to see the Impractical Jokers on Saturday, this coming Saturday, Ovation Hall and Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Some tickets remain for both shows for that night, and there's 6 and 9:30 p.m. shows, and you can go to theoceanac.com. To get your tickets. Going to thank our sponsors. The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Dunkin'. Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors, and Hershey Park. Get ready to Hershey Park. For a limited time, buy 2 tickets, get 1 free at HersheyPark.com. Hurry. Offer ends July 25th. Tomorrow on the program, it's Wednesday. We will do a secret text word. We'll go live on to Fox Good Day, and our good friend, Mr. Jim Jackson, play-by-play for the Flyers, will be joining us, and we'll see what else ends up happening on the program. So that's it. We're done. Rage on and have a fantastic day, friends. Stay cool. It's going to be toasty, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.